Radio WGNS. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome in to another Saturday morning High School Coach's Corner. It's mid-February. Well, I guess maybe even late February now, huh? 17th day of February. We're in the throes of district tournament action, and we're here to talk about that with the coaches this morning on the Coach's Corner. It's girls basketball week this week. Next week, we'll have boys coaches that are remaining, and then kind of talk things over with a few spring sports sprinkled in. So we've got that for the next few weeks to look forward to. Lots of hoops to go through this morning. And let's see, there were 4 girls games, 4 boys games that we had scores on for you from last night. And here is a look at those. First of all, in boys, let's do that first. That was the District 8 4A tournament where we had a couple of games with Siegel and Oakland, Blackman and Rockvale locking horns. Siegel Stars win it by 16 over the Patriots, 56-40, to advance to the championship game today, knocking Oakland to the consolation game where they will play Rockvale, who lost to Blackman 50-48. 50-48, Blackman the winner. Blackman had a double-digit lead. Rockvale comes out in the fourth quarter, 3 threes in a row. They get right back in the game. They had a 3 from about 20 to 25 feet that dinged off the rim at the horn that would have given them the victory, walk-off style. But Blackman wins it and holds on to face Siegel tonight in the championship. It was Central Magnet defeating Marshall County in one of just a few upsets that we've had in the area in tournament play. 73-61 the final there, so Central Magnet moves on to the boys championship. PCA defeated Good Pasture 80-65 in the Middle Region semifinals, so that puts them in the region finals and qualifies for the state's 12. In girls, Lebanon edged Stewart's Creek 44-40. Stewart's Creek was down 13-3 in the first quarter, came back and took a halftime lead. Then it was nip and tuck the rest of the way. Tied at 38, I believe, and maybe tied at 40. I can't remember about the 40, but Lebanon wins it by 4, 44-40. Stewart's Creek missing a few free throws down the stretch, from what I understand. Central Magnet defeats Lawrence County 41-39. Central Magnet moves on to the championship. They will play theirs on Monday. District 8 3A is off here this weekend. Moore County edges Eagleville 40-37. It was a tough one at the house of the Lady Eagles. And Moore County, a very good Moore County team, beats Eagleville by 3, 40-37. PCA downs East L Harding 50-35. So what is on tap today? Let's see. We've got 3 girls games, 5 boys games going on today. So we'll look at the schedule real quick. In boys tonight, it's Oakland versus Rockvale at 6 o'clock, and Siegel versus Blackman at 7:30 in the District 8 4A consolation and championship. Eagleville playing for a district championship in District 9 1A versus Fayetteville. Laverne will battle Lebanon in the District 7 4A semifinals this evening. And PCA boys versus Webb at 7:30 in the Middle Region finals in Division 2 Class Single A. In girls, and I'll tell you our broadcast schedule in a moment. Rockvale versus Riverdale at 1 o'clock today, and the region, our district consolation game. Championship game will be Blackman versus Oakland at 2:30. Then PCA versus Good Pasture at 6 o'clock tonight in their middle region finals. So on the radio today, we'll have 2 sessions early, 1 o'clock, so about 12:50 airtime. We'll hit the airwaves for Rockvale Riverdale, followed by Blackman Oakland. The Rockville-Riverdale game will be on radio, and will stay on radio until we get to the Lady Raider pregame show at 2:30. Then we'll transition to stream only. Everything is on the stream today, high school-wise, so if you want to just stick there you'll be able to hear all the high school action that we have for you today. Then tonight, radio and streaming, we'll have the boys' games for you. All right. That is a brief look at what we've got going on with high school sports here this morning. And if you would like to find out more about what's going on, we've got everything I just read to you is on WGNSSports.com. We've got brackets there. You've got the scoreboard with the schedule as well. So take a look at that at WGNSSports.com. When we come back, we jump into the conversation. Riverdale, Smyrna, Blackman first up. I'll have those for you. Then Danny with the middle leg. Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, Rockvale. John will wrap us up with Siegel, Eagleville, and MTCS on this Saturday morning edition of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
One hot and ready classic. We actually changed it with...
What? You've changed, Little Caesars. You've changed! You've changed! Ah! Tell me why.
It tastes even better because we added 33% more pepperoni.
Give me one of those.
Little Caesars Pizza in Murfreesboro. 4 locations: Memorial Boulevard, South Rutherford Boulevard, Old Ford Parkway, and Warrior Drive.
Walk in and walk out with the new Hot and Ready Classic with 33% more pepperoni.
Pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan Franz Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan Franz Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan Franz Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranzconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. Time to talk some Riverdale Lady Warrior basketball, and the head coach joins us this morning, Joshua Bugg. And Coach, congrats on making the region and getting into the consolation game today. I know that's a big step forward for the Lady Warriors.
Yeah, we're very proud of our girls, very proud of our coaches, and just the growth that they've had this year. And it's a big accomplishment. I told them yesterday, don't gloss over the fact of we are already where we're at. And it's exciting for them, and they're appreciative of their growth as well.
Yeah, I'm certain that they are. And you had the chance to bring in one of your assistants today, and I think maybe we can get the real lowdown on Coach Bugg. Kobe Jones, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Pull that mic up real close to you there. And so how long have you been coaching here?
This is my first year, actually.
Here?
I just transferred here, yes.
Okay. Have you coached before?
Yes.
Okay, where was that?
I coached at Sail Creek High School. It's back in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I think I remember Sail Creek. How did you wind up in Murfreesboro?
Well, I'm a student at MTSU, but one of the girls I coached back home, they moved to Murfreesboro, and they just recommended me, and ever since then, I just clicked with the team.
It helps to have someone that clicks with the team, doesn't it, Coach Bugg?
Yeah, she's great. She's younger, and she's able to get out there on the floor and demonstrate. I was telling them out there I got some knee problems this morning. I don't know if it's the weather, it was me kneeling down on the floor the other day, but she's very supportive, and the girls love her, and she's building strong relationships, and she adds a element of diversity to our team that we value a lot.
You know, going back to some things you've had to battle in some games this year. You've had some real battles with Siegel, especially. Wound up with a split with them in the regular season, and that's who you had to play to continue your season. And you know, you had a pretty comfortable lead for a while, and then all of a sudden here comes Siegel. But your girls did what they needed to do to win that, and Abby Dennis is one who stepped up really big for you, I think.
Yeah, you know, we value multi-sport athletes, and, you know, Abby's also shortstop for our softball team, and, you know, she's kind of a kid that's kind of been in the shadows a little bit, but we've seen her from day one, and, you know, she's a great person. It starts there, and she works really hard on her outside shot, and, you know, she did hit 4 threes in that game, which were big, and she hit the one at the end, but, you know, a couple plays before that, she hit a dribble pull-up. That was what I thought was a big play for her. It was just another element of her game. But, you know, we love Abby Dennis. She's a great player.
And Chloe, I think, had 17.
Yeah, Chloe had 17, and, you know, it's been cool for Chloe, you know, because she's gifted offensively, and sometimes she's a little passive, you know, and she doesn't assert herself like she can. But the other night against Siegel, she showed, you know, what she can do on the floor, and, you know, she was dominant for us, and it was big, and she was so excited, and she's such a hard worker, so it was good to see her have that moment.
And Jackie Hardwick also, I believe, wound up with double figures, didn't she?
Yeah, so Jackie's like a player that nobody knows about, and, like, you know, as her coaches, like, we've been really wanting her to have a couple games like that so people can take notice and ask. But she's super athletic. She loves basketball. You know, she texted me last night, and she was like, I'm guarding Jade today. So, you know, she wants to step up and take that challenge as a defender as well, which, you know, guarding Watson's not easy. You know, she's explosive. She's a good player. She's a strong point guard, even as a young kid. And but the other day, Jackie had 11. She did foul out. We had 3 foul out. They had 1 foul out that was important for them. And so, you know, I looked down on the bench, and I was like, who do we put in? You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that we don't trust them, but you hadn't been in at all. You know, it's just a lot of nerves for them.
I haven't been in at all, and then in a game that you win or go home and the season's over and all that pressure, that's a lot.
Yeah, but you know, our girls they're good people, and they're learning to become better basketball players, and it's like, you know, the relationship standpoint from Coach Jones to Coach Gardner to Coach Sturbins, and, you know, we're even going to be adding Coach Bonds, you know, Rodney Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be joining our staff this summer, and he promised he was going to help until Charlie graduates, which is about a 7-year commitment. So we're trying to build a strong team of adults that can just help lead these kids and mentor them. And, you know, eventually the Lady Warriors are going to be, you know, a better version of themselves. And right now we're just happy where we are.
We are talking Riverdale girls basketball this morning. Head coach Joshua Bugg here, assistant Kobe Jones. And Coach Jones, talk to me about, speaking of commitment, I know the girls make a commitment, but so do coaches. Well, what's that like for a coach?
You know, it can be challenging sometimes, especially for me, because I'm a full-time student, and then as soon as class is over, I go straight to Riverdale. But, I mean, I'm in it. I've been coaching for 3 years now, so it's like I'm used to it. It's my lifestyle now, so as I continue, this is just my first big step.
Mm-hmm.
So as the years go on, I feel like I can grow better as a coach, a female at that, and just as a person. Like, these girls, they support me, which is great. So I love it, really.
When you think about, you know, a coach and player relationship, there has to be some of that, them uplifting you too.
Yes.
I mean, that's all part of it, because I mean, when you practice as much and play as much and go everywhere from November to now and hopefully further, I mean, you spend a lot of time together.
Yes. Yeah. So here's the thing with, I'm an only child, so with them, I kind of consider them like my little sisters.
Yeah.
So it's great, like, just going to see them every day and just be like, okay, what else can I learn from them today?
Sure. Full-time student and doing this.
Yes.
What do you do in your free time? Sleep?
Go play basketball at the rec.
Well, there you go. There you go. Did you play in high school?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Where'd you play?
I played at Sale Creek High School.
Okay. All right. So, well, that's awesome. Coach Bugg, you've got a big one today, and taking on Rockvale. Obviously, you want to get the best seed going to the next tournament. I mean, that's how you build momentum and continue on. And you mentioned Jade already. You've got plenty of weapons to defend against today against the Lady Rockets.
Yeah, we've been in a battle 2 times with them, and, I cautioned our girls yesterday. I said, I hope we didn't miss our chance to get him because I think this third time is going to be the toughest. But we were up 6 at halftime the game that Nora broke her arm, and we had a lead the majority of the game when we went over there on senior night a week ago, and that was such a fun game for both sides. If you're going to lose a game, you don't want to, but you lose it like that. It was competitive, a lot of points, a lot of excitement. But ultimately, if we're going to win today, we can't turn the ball over in the open court because they've got, especially Jade, I think she took 5 or 6 for easy layups, and you just can't give up those. So if we're going to make mistakes, let's make them underneath the basket and get our defense a chance to get set in transition. And not necessarily slow the game down the whole time, but there's times you got to have control of that basketball and not turn it over. So I think that's been our Achilles heel against them. They've been able to force a few more turnovers than us. But I think our kids are ready for the challenge. We made a few adjustments yesterday. We're about to meet this morning at 9:30 and, review that stuff. And if we can score, we're going to have a chance, And so I like where we're at right now. I like the chemistry that we have. I like our, 7-man rotation. And, we've gotten some other players that aren't in that rotation some minutes. And so if we do have to look down there at the end of the game and put someone in, I think they can go in and, give us some positive minutes.
Yeah. Talk about playing in a game that maybe we make too much of this, but you're playing at 1 o'clock in middle of the day on Saturday, and you're doing a walkthrough early in the morning. I mean, those things are not routine. How much does that play into it, or does it at all?
I think it plays into it a little bit, because, as a player, you have to go to bed a little bit earlier. You have to get up. Wake yourself up. Your nutrition plan changes a little bit because, sometimes we feed them, sometimes we don't. Our transportation plans change a little bit. But ultimately, I want to create a place as the leader of this team where people want to be, from a player standpoint to a parent standpoint to a coach's standpoint. And I think that we're doing that. And so we want our kids to have fun today and remember that this is about them. And we want to win. And so does the opponent. But, ultimately they've got to decide it. And then this is their moment in this season in their lives.
You mentioned a lot of things that go on there, Coach. You mentioned nutrition and do we feed them, or transportation, how do we get there, and all of that kind of thing. And that's why you have assistants like Coach Jones here. And I know that you've got some good ones that have really stuck by you this year, and hoping to build a product that everybody can be proud of there, as you have at Riverdale. So you want to talk about any of your other assistants here before we finish up?
Yeah, Coach Sturbins came over from Christiana Middle School. He hasn't been in here with me yet, but I'm sure I'll bring him back sometime soon. And, commitment, we preach the 4 C's in our program, but commitment is obviously where it starts. Commitment to each other, commitment to, the weight room, commitment to your craft. But just even from an administrative standpoint, like I absolutely will say it over and over again. I love Tamara Blair. We've got a bunch of other great assistant principals. Lindy King was a former high school basketball coach, very successful, and she's a strong leader as well. And, and even across the other sports. And so even some of the coaches that aren't coaching these girls specifically, they've been critical not only in support of myself, but to our assistant coaches and our players. And so, Riverdale High School is a great place to be. It starts from the top down, and in our program, I think our players are becoming leaders. And like you said earlier, they do a good job of supporting us as their coaches as well.
Well, whatever happens with today's game, you do know that you've got first round of the region to look forward to as well. And I know you're not looking ahead to that, but you will have to go on the road for the first round of the region, either to state-ranked Cookeville or state-ranked Lebanon. So it doesn't get any easier from here, does it?
It doesn't. But, if you're honest, you look at a Blackman, you look at an Oakland, and, we're in a little different scenario right now than they are. But you say, all right, a Blackman can beat them, and Oakland can beat them. And so at this point in time, we just got to play good basketball. And, we got to be able to score at a decent clip, and we just got to get our kids to compete until, there's no time on the clock. And so, I like our chances. Every year it happens. And, I think that, I have faith that this program can be used in a way that people aren't anticipating this year. And we're going to believe for it. And if it don't happen, it's not the end of the world. We'll go back to work. And if it does happen, we're going to, load up to play the next opponent.
Well, that's why they call March Madness, because it is. And this is, February Madness as we try to get to the Glass House for some of our local teams, as many as can get there. And would love no more than to follow the Lady Warriors here this year or in the year's future. And Coach, appreciate you being here this morning. And Coach Jones, good luck with everything. Hope school goes well. And have we got you on the hook for a little while here?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Coach Bug, appreciate it. Look forward to seeing your girls play this afternoon on the radio.
Thank you. We appreciate what y'all do.
Absolutely. And our Coaches Show brought to you by Butch Vaughn for Rutherford County School Board Zone 6. Learn more at butchvaughnforschoolboard.com.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
An app for easy payment.
Solar energy solutions.
I just want to talk to a real person when I need help. Energy tips and low rates.
Done, 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 done.
I want to fly my car to the moon.
Houston, let's talk about electric vehicles. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Sir Pizza.
You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. It's time to talk some Smyrna athletics this morning. Lonnie Drayton is joining us. He is going to be wearing a couple of hats today as we wrap up the girls basketball season and preview the girls softball season for the Lady Bulldogs. Coach Drayton, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
It's going well. Going well. Sounds like you still have the basketball voice going on.
Oh, yeah, it's there. It is there. But what's crazy is with softball season starting, as well, was it last week or this week? You don't lose it. So I guess, my wife won't get any love songs sung at her ever again. Because this is what she gets, right?
Well, she's probably thankful for that. The season does come to an end for your Lady Bulldogs in the first round of the district tournament, but you gave a good fight to the Lady Wildcats of Wilson Central, it looked like, on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, we did. They we got struck with something that was consistent with us all year long, and it was just the inability right now to consistently put the ball in the hole. And I think I counted 2 games in a row, back-to-back games where we finally hit a free throw. We have missed, I think, 11 free throws in a row, which is unprecedented. You can't draw it up. You can't even make a movie about that. It was 11 free throws in a row, and it makes me laugh because, I get people come up to me and they're like, do y'all practice free throws? And I want to, laugh in their face. And, so I just tell them, no, we just go into the games and hope, that one falls. We never practice free throws, so, which is obviously ridiculous. We practice free throws more than anybody in the country. But they just won't fall in games sometimes. So. But, the girls fought. They fought and scrapped. I talked to our old principal, Mr. Rakes, came to the softball facility last night, and me and him talked for about 45 minutes, an hour. And I told him this team practices. They practice harder than any team that I've ever coached, boys or girls. And it just didn't work out for them all the time. But I was just so proud of the effort this year.
That's something you can't teach. I mean, you can't really teach effort. You can encourage effort, but that doesn't mean you're going to get it. And I've seen your girls play, and they definitely give you the effort for sure.
Oh yeah, it's funny because that's I tell them I told them in the pregame of every game. Our MO is you're in. You may be bigger than us. You may be stronger than us. You may be faster. You may, shoot it better, have better basketball IQ. But one thing that you won't do is for 32 minutes, you're not going to out-effort us. If that's one thing that we can control, that's the one thing that we can absolutely control is, for 32 minutes, we're giving everything we got. And that's just the girls buying in the culture and just accepting the fact that that's our identity right now until we can, get bigger and get a little more, acclimated to the situation as far as, our skill set. That's what we'll provide right there. So, I love coaching them. People ask why, you're so competitive and, this is not, it's probably not, how you want to spend your day, not winning like you want to. You fall in love with these little girls. You fall in love with them. You fall in love with their personalities, and you'll do anything for them. And they, and right back, you get text messages and calls from them, and it's an awesome situation to coach them. So, I love it and it's fun. So as long as it's fun, I'm going to keep, going out there and trying to crack the code.
Lonnie, how do you juggle back-to-back sports? I mean, for the most part, basketball season is winding down as softball starts up, but there is some overlap, and that's got to be pretty difficult.
Oh, yeah. Well, you juggle it with first off, family that's understanding. Second off, with administration that sets you up in a position where you can't fail. I mean, what Dr. Sutherland has done and our administration at Smyrna has just allowed me to, to be able to coach it without any downfall. We practice girls basketball practices early, softball practices late, or it could be vice versa. But it makes for long days, but both of them, my biggest thing is not cheating any one of them, So if I'm tired, it is what it is. As long as we get the work done that we need, and every day, my biggest thing is drawing up a game plan, drawing up a practice plan, and making sure we get everything completed on both sports what we set out to complete that day, regardless of how I feel. And I tell our girls, on both sports, and they know that, you're not going to want to practice every day. I may not want to practice every day, but you'll never know. And that's what I expect from you. I expect you to come in there with the same mentality that you're excited to practice, you're excited to work, regardless. No one, any outsider comes in, they can't see in your expression or your face that you're looking to that you may not want to be there that day. So, that's part of the effort and that's part of the energy type thing right there. But our administration, Dr. Sutherland, is huge as far as how our sports goes in the school. And, and my assistant coaches in both sports, are huge. If I ever need anything or taking problems, taking issues off of me, like when we play a game and if we're playing a basketball game and softball is practicing right there, like what happened this week, in the district tournament game, I don't have a problem at all having my assistant coach, right now is Bailey Griffin, sitting there waiting right there, just waiting to go. So, with the team, she's a young coach, but she's going to be good. And she, they sit and listen. So it's a blessing. It's a great thing. It's a great situation, great setup for me.
Lonnie Drayton joining us this morning, the girls basketball head coach and softball coach. Talk to us a little bit about your softball team. What kind of team you expect to see out there this year?
Expectations are through the roof at this point. We've got some really, really good young players coming in that surprise me every day at practice with their work ethic. But most importantly, we've got, I think in our lineup, we only lost one senior last year, and the majority of the team, all the pitching staff is back, they're starting catchers. So all of these girls are, back-to-back sub-states that they, and one run away from, being in the state tournament, even competing and beating teams that were in the state last year and the year before. So, this is honestly one of the most battle-tested teams, just watching them in practice. When you have a team full of, college commits, I think we got 5 girls, 5 seniors that have signed college scholarships, and then we've got 2 seniors that have turned down college scholarships. So that's 7 right there, all 7 of our seniors. And then I got a junior that, quite possibly is one of the best players in Middle Tennessee or Tennessee, and she's already committed to MTSU. You got a lot. And then we got a lot, and it's very high expectations, and they understand that is what and I don't think, with these players, I don't think they're nervous about the expectations. They understand what's out there. They understand what we're working towards, and they're in a situation where they're like, let's just go out there and work and do it. There's no need to be nervous. We've seen everything.
Yeah.
So, I love this mentality right now.
It was Smyrna, Stewart's Creek, last year, and it really big battles, but things in the district are going to be a bit different. What do you think that's going to look like this year?
No, it's going to be huge. And part of it is really good for us. Like when, if I could be honest with you, when they made the district change, we looked at, I was, of course, looking at basketball and softball at the same time.
Sure.
So when they said basketball was going to that district, I was like, oh, my God. That is not what we want to be doing right now. We've been to the region for the last 2 years. We're doing good. We're on the up and up, and now you put us in, I think, arguably the best all-around district in the state of Tennessee. They in girls basketball, it's unbelievable. Cookeville, Lebanon, those are 2, and Stewart's Creek and Wilson Central, all 4 teams have a possibility at being in Murphy Center. But then you have softball, which the district that we came from, there was games where I hated to say it, but I needed to have our freshmen or kids that don't normally start ready by the first inning to play. The score was 14-15 to nothing in the first inning, and I was pulling my girls out after 2 at bat in the first inning.
And that doesn't help you.
You're absolutely right. It was horrible. So now going into this, and we played Lebanon, we played Wilson Central. We get to play Cookeville, and I think it's going to be a battle every day, which gets us ready. Because before, the only battle realistically that we had was against Stewart's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's right to go the whole season, and 2 games is the only thing that you're looking for. So it might be heartbreak, because now and any day you can, I see teams lose games that they should win all the time and get knocked out of tournaments. So, but I pray to God that doesn't happen, and we handle our business and go and execute, and I think we'll be fine.
Well, Lonnie, it's always good catching up with you, and I know that we'll see you on the softball field sometime this spring once we get hoops all taken care of, and certainly appreciate you coming in and being with us on Saturday mornings here during girls basketball season. It's a long season, and I can't thank you enough for spreading all the good news about the Lady Bulldogs.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us. We really appreciate the time that you give us.
All right, Lonnie, appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's Lonnie Drayton joining us, Smyrna girls basketball and softball coach here on The Coaches Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
It's a critical time in education, and we need experience on the Rutherford County School Board. That's why we need to elect Butch Vaughn to the school board in Zone 6. He brings experience as a public educator from his years in the classroom and as a coach to being principal at Central and Blackman Middle and Oakland High Schools. Butch Vaughn has also been in private education as the former headmaster at PCA. Experience counts, especially now. That's why we need Butch Vaughn on the Rutherford County School Board. Paid for by Butch Vaughn for School Board. Pryor Manning, Treasurer.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back on The Coaches Show, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at MTE.com. The head coach of the Lady Blaze of Blackman High School, Jennifer Grandstaff, joins us this morning. And Coach is probably at the gym already, I would say, or getting close, right?
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk with you as well. It's nice to be having to do a walkthrough and get things ready for a district championship game. This is probably one of the goals you set out with as the season began.
Oh, definitely. We're thrilled to be playing for a championship. That's what we talked about yesterday in practice. And, our program's had an awful lot of success. And when we were getting ready to do our walkthrough, I reiterated to our kids, don't ever take this day, this moment, the preparation for granted, because you never know when the next day is. You never know when you might have another opportunity to play for a championship. So, yeah, we're really thrilled and excited about the opportunity.
There's something to be said about that, Coach, because we've seen a lot of success in girls basketball, and you've been a huge part of that here for decades, and it doesn't go unnoticed, but also there's an expectation, and that can become a weight, and the Blackman Lady Blaze have been carrying a good deal of that load of that weight for a long time.
Oh, I agree with you. I feel like we've some of our kids have felt the weight this year because the expectations are. I mean, we put them on ourselves; they put it on themselves. You know, we're just expected to be competitive year in, year out, and have the opportunity to play for championships. So, yeah, I think it does put kids in a tough situation sometimes, but our kids have battled through it, you know, and got ourselves where we want to be late in the year, and that is playing for a district championship. So I'm just thrilled with them. I'm pleased with the way they handled the pressure of the season and the day in, day out commitment that it takes to play at that level. So, yeah, we're definitely excited about our opportunity.
Coach, you have every year seems to be that you've been at Blackman. There's kind of been some wrinkle in there, and you know, a couple of years ago it was dealing with COVID and losing so many games, and then playing a zillion in a row and getting all the way to the championship. And this year you came out of the gate starting out with injuries, and you just kind of had to work around that. But I don't know, has that helped you develop depth? I think it has.
Yeah, I definitely think it has. I mean, we were forced with a lot of injuries early, and then mid-season we had a couple more injuries. So we played a lot of kids during that time frame, and hopefully we've seen it, and hopefully it continues that the 6, 7, 8 players that we do play, I definitely feel like they're a little bit more poised when they get into the game. I think they're more confident. I think they're more sure of themselves versus just if they wouldn't have had those opportunities early season, mid-season, that it might be a little bit more of a stressful situation for them, so to speak. So I think it's developed a lot of poise, a lot of confidence in those players. So, you never like injuries, but as long as it pays off down the road, then it all works out well for you, and I feel like it has.
Yeah. Of course, you took on Riverdale in the only game that you played in the tournament, and that was a 51-11 victory, and put you in the championship game. There was quite a bit of off time before that game, and then you turn around and a couple of days later play on today, and then you'll have another time, off here. And I know it's a little weird. It's like we're stringing things out. I don't know. Yeah. That's probably not good for a coach's blood pressure.
Well, it seems like our district format it's quite a bit different this year than what it has been in years past. Usually we play the Thursday, Friday, and then we play the Monday, Tuesday championship, boys, girls and boys. And this year we decided to play the consolation championship games all on Saturday. And then I'm not real sure why we decided on that. I think it was Oakland's decision since they hosted. That's the format they wanted to go with. And so it gives us a week off in between our district championship game before our first region game, because the first region game won't be played until Friday. So it's a first for us in quite a few years. So, actually I liked the week of preparation up until the Thursday game with Riverdale. Gave us some time to really fine tune some things and get a lot of reps in. So I enjoyed that. I'm not sure how I'll handle Saturday to next Friday. That's a lot of prep time to say, so to speak. And then you play Friday, and then if you're fortunate enough to win, you play the Monday game. And so I'm not real sure how we'll handle that week. I'm just glad we'll still be playing at that point.
Sure. Well, I know that, there's a saying about idle hands, so I know you'll keep the girls busy and putting up shots and getting some things in, obviously. And as you said, that could be good for you. You did it before the district tournament, so maybe this would be a good thing for the region.
Yeah, I mean, we'd definitely use it to our advantage, and probably won't go near as long, probably short and sweet, and try not to wear them out, and just keep them crisp and fresh, and to see how it goes from there.
In the Riverdale victory, I thought Yana Dunbar just kind of asserted her dominance right from the get-go, and I really enjoyed seeing her do that. You're going to be hard to beat if she does that, because that really kind of frees up your guards a bit.
Yeah, we've talked a lot in the last, probably 4 or 5 weeks about we've got to get more post production. We got to, out of all of the kids that we play in the paint, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4 different kids we play in the paint. That we've got to get point production, better rebounding production out of them, and they've we set goal. We give them a specific goal before we go out, and I think that's really helped for them to hone in and focus a little bit more. She's definitely she was a presence for us Tuesday night or Thursday night, and we've just seen a big improvement within the last 4 to 5 weeks out of all of our post players with, I think, their approach, their mentality, their expectations. And that's what we talked about after the game. Our point production in the paint was 21 points against Riverdale. If we continue to grow on that and to build on that, we are a tough out. We're not just so guard oriented and guard heavy that we can get the ball other places and see some scoring out of those positions as well. So yeah, we're thrilled with that, and we just hope we continue to be able to do that in the paint, and for our kids to be confident and just believe in themselves when they get that ball and do something with it. So we hope it carries over today, that's for sure, because we got a big task today.
Kaylin Flowers had 15 in that game, and she and Lyric do a really good job of distributing around the basketball, and you're going to have to do that today against a very good Oakland Lady Patriot team who you actually wound up tying with in the district regular season and split with them this year. What problems does Jessica's team pose for you?
Well, defensively, they do a great job of guarding in that half court. They get out and they guard, and they're able to, their quickness, they really match our quickness. They do a good job on the ball defense. So that's always challenging. They put a lot of pressure on us on the perimeter, on our guards. So, that gives us some fits every once in a while. Offensively, you look at their stats. I mean, they just, they all average about the same, anywhere between 6 to 8. I think Poole averaged 10, but they've got 4 or 5 consistent scores, every night out, where it's not just when, we really got to focus on containing one individual player. They do a good job of distributing the ball. They're all capable of scoring. And then, I think they're one of the strongest offensive rebounding teams that we've played this year. I know at one point they were averaging 12.9 offensive rebounds a game. And I think they're still around 11 at this point in their season. So we got to keep them off the O boards, and we got to be able to defend in the half court, obviously.
And they've got several weapons that they can throw at you as well. And Wisniewski has been hitting from outside. So you've got a really good game on your hands today. But one thing we do know is that you'll move on from this and head to the region, and you'll get to host a first-round region game. And it's nice to be at home and not have to travel somewhere like a Cookeville or a Lebanon. So. Yeah,
our region's definitely changed, and that's one of the things I was like, wow, I wonder where the region tournament's going to be, and I was thrilled that it was going to be, back at Oakland or somewhere, close. So, the first round we get to host, but since we won on Thursday, and then after that, if we're fortunate enough to win, then the whole region tournament will go back to Oakland. So, that's really nice. That travel to Cookeville's tough. It's real tough.
Yeah. Well, you did it. I guess I don't know how many years they were in the district when you first were at Oakland, but those were some very tough and long trips for sure. Definitely.
Cookeville's the one that's got it tough now because everybody in their districts is Smyrna, Laverne, Stewart's Creek. They're making that trip several times a year. So it makes it tough on them, I'm sure. Yeah. So we're at Oakland.
Coach, appreciate you spending some time with us. Good luck, and we'll see you this afternoon for the championship game. Good luck in that.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That's Jennifer Grandstaff joining us, the head coach of the Blackman Lady Blaze, on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who'd love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial, carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned and operated, That's carpetsbyosborne.com.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, carrying on the Lanning family tradition.
I'm passionate about it, and I have a lot of my dad in me, so I know that I have the same energy and mindset that he does.
It's the best barbecue you'll eat. The smoked chicken out of this world and those loaded baked potatoes.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds. People ask us that all the time. They're like, where do y'all get those potatoes from?
A quick meal feeding the whole family or catering, they can do it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Every team knows which play can be a winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850. It's a winning move that saves you time and money.
Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Bud Morris. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-893-1417 and let me help you save by combining your auto and renters.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is dedicated to Rutherford County, its students, their families, and their futures. Hi, I'm Ryan Savage, Assistant Vice President and Branch Manager. We understand the challenges of managing your family's finances. At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, your family is our family. Visit us at our Gateway or Memorial Boulevard offices here in Murfreesboro and always online at fnbmt.com. First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites on Warrior Drive. Locally operated by Anne-Marie Brents and the Lanning family. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm extremely pleased to be on the air now. Normally we would be with Laverne Lady Wolverine coach Steve Carter. He's unavailable at the moment, so I am ultimately blessed to be joined by the award-winning John Dinkins. We'll be teaming up later for some action, some boys action over there at Oakland High School. But for now, John, how are you this morning?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm going to be doing some interviews later on this morning.
Yeah.
So
So you're here getting it cranked up.
I'm here representing Laverne.
Representing Laverne. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about Laverne. Okay.
All right.
You did a game earlier this year. We did the Laverne Stewart's Creek game down there. You know what you have to say about the school. It looks good in there, doesn't it? I mean, there's new flooring in the when you walk in, all that stuff, and when you walk in there, it's like, wow, they're doing good down here.
In fact, I've never seen flooring like that in a school. It looks really good. I mean, you might see it in an office, but usually it's the old standard tile. This is special. This is a little bit nicer.
Yeah, it is.
We had a great time. You were there, and you did part of that game, and the hospitality upstairs. That's what I remember. The food.
Oh yeah, no, the food was great.
It was really good.
It was senior night. You know, they honored their seniors. They did a good job. You know, Dr. Hatchett down there, I think she's doing a really good job. She keeps things in order, because everything seemed to be in order up there. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, and coaches were, they do a great job down there. Steve asked if we were okay, and Coach Huntland. I mean, it was pretty awesome. And the Laverne girls, I know they didn't win many games, but they won some games. I think a lot of people didn't think they'd win, and athletically and moving the ball. And defensively, I thought I'm very impressed with what he's doing out there at Laverne, because they look better than I had anticipated. But defensively, they're about as good as any. I mean, they can hang with anybody. It's just shooting the basketball, getting the ball in the hoop, which is the problem.
You're absolutely right. You know, but one of the encouraging things about it, and I talked with Steve about this, they got good shots. So the execution of the offensive game plan was there because they got good shots. It wasn't like they're heaving up a bunch of three-pointers or anything like that. They got to the rim. They just couldn't put it in the basket.
Yeah, and they're running their offense. I mean, he's got them doing everything that they need to do. So now summer off, get things together. Maybe they'll do some summer ball too. I look for them to be much improved, and he's very young, so that's all good positive signs for Coach Carter.
Well, no, I think it is, and the thing that you want to do down there is continue to build on a program and be able to develop kids, keep them in the program, and grow them. And of course, you mentioned off season. Today in high school athletics, and you've been around this game as far as high school athletics for a while. Is there really an off season anymore, you think?
Not really. With AAU and those kind of things, unless you're injured, that's about the only way you don't play. I mean, it's usually year round. I know some teams do differently. Some have their JV playing each with another coach, a different coach. Coaches can't be involved, but they a lot of teams can work that where. Say, for instance, you can go coach an AAU team, and I think it's been very helpful. I sometimes have concerns a little bit sometimes about maybe too much basketball for girls. I have concerns about knees and that kind of thing, but that's another topic at another day. So.
Right, yeah, because I know that you had knee replacement recently, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't because of basketball. But I've got a granddaughter that's going to go through some surgery. She ran track, cross country, and basketball, and but I think it's good for them to learn to play the game and how to play the game right in the individual. And it all depends on who you're with, the basketball instruction, whether you can get one-on-one instruction or whether you get team instruction. I think all that's good, and I think that's what Steve's trying to do at Laverne is get them to play, a little bit more outside of the high school.
Right, because I think that in today's climate, to compete, you have to have that going on, don't you? I mean, you can't compete with the Blackmans and the Oaklands and the Stewart's Creeks and those type programs who are good year in year out unless you have kids that play year round.
Right. And I think that's the important thing. There are athletes. I'm not going to pinpoint everybody. There are athletes that can not play and can do that, but it's difficult. I mean, because it's a learning process. You're continuing to work on the skills that you've had. And I think when you don't do that, you get a little rusty. Things, you forget things that you should do. But Laverne is trying to work that program out, and I think that's going to be a big key to them. And Coach Rutland over with the boys side, just for a minute, they're in a big game. You know, they've got some more games to come, so they're having a really great year too.
They really are, and you know the boys program has kind of been the bell cow for Laverne athletics the last couple of years. Last year was in the sub-state. You know, one of the greatest region championship games that when they played at Blackman last year, man, that was a fantastic ball game.
Yeah,
and you know, I think Rutland may have a little bit better team this year talent-wise than he had last year.
I would agree with that. I really would. We've seen them a couple of times now. Boy, they're athletic. I mean, they could match up with anybody athletically, I think. You know,
I think you're right. You know, and if they can score the ball in the post, they're good at getting to the hoop.
Yes.
They're good at getting to the hoop, and if they can score the ball in the post, then they're doing fantastic. I think they got a chance. They'll be playing Cookeville, I believe, they play tonight, and if they can win tonight, then they'll play Cookeville in the championship game on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, and they're in a tough district too. I mean, their district's pretty tough. That Cookeville team's pretty good. I mean, they're real good.
Cookeville is very good. I've seen them. They're very good. So if they both can win today, it should set up a big matchup on Tuesday night down there in Laverne.
Yeah, we've got to get by tonight, though, don't we?
Got to get by tonight. That's right. One game at a time. That's right.
Good luck to the Laverne Wolverines.
Yeah, the Lady Wolverines. Yeah. So that was John Dinkins in for Steve Carter. We want to say congratulations to Coach Carter. He worked really hard this year down there at Laverne, and he's developing a good program, and he's doing all the right things. The Coaches Show is brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure that your goals are top of mind. While you can't control market volatility, we'll help focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Stan Vaught. I'm a lot like you, a husband, father, farmer, auctioneer, and community supporter. I'm now a candidate for school board in the Las Casas, Walter Hill, Milton, Leanna, Oakland, and Siegel communities. I believe in community schools, vocational education, and getting education back to the basics. I'd appreciate your support for school board.
Early voting going on now. Election day is March 5th. Paid for by Stan Vaught for school board. Stan Vaught, treasurer.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref!
That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Stan Vaught for Rutherford County School Board Zone 2. That's Stan Vaught for Rutherford County School Board Zone number 2. I'm Danny Brewer. You know, it's one of those things where this is a special moment for me because I get to be on the radio with Oakland Lady Patriot head coach Jessica Southern. Coach Southern, how in the world are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm quite well this morning. You know, it's a lovely February morning. We got a boatload of basketball later today. This is good stuff, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let's talk for a minute about what happened earlier in the week. I think Thursday night, your girls beat Rockvale 56-40 in the first round, or your first game of the district tournament. So tell me a little bit about that. I think you had a couple of girls that played, well, your whole team played pretty well, I believe, but you had a couple of girls that really stood out.
Yes, for sure. That's something that's been a positive for us this season, that it's not just the one or two person show for us, that we have multiple people that contribute, scoring, defensively, playing their roles, something that we've talked about all season, but really coming together here at tournament time when we need to.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Alana Poole. I think she had maybe 17 or something like that. She had a really nice game. Talk a little bit about her.
Yes, she did. Since she's been back, it's just been kind of a slow process of her kind of really getting back with it, and she's been big, having her back on the floor, with her being a scoring threat, not only her scoring, but, opening up other people and giving them the opportunity to score, just because other people are going to have to focus, on her for defense, and she's been really good for us, and she's been playing well for us the last few weeks.
Okay, let's talk about another young lady, Cadence Wisniewski. Talk about her and what she has brought to the table. I know she had a good game on Thursday night as well.
Yes, she did. She's been playing well for us as well. At the beginning of the season, with injuries and different things and stuff that we've already kind of talked about, with just being kind of young and floor experience and kind of figuring out, their roles and kind of like what they need from us. And kind of when we got Alana back and we flipped a couple different people playing, different positions, her position shifted, and she's really honed in on that and taken that role on well, and has been scoring for us and doing some different things that has definitely positively impacted our team.
I know that you never like to lose kids as far as to injury or have them have to sit out, but could Poole's absence from a few games have made your team a little bit stronger?
I think so, because it gave others the opportunity to play, just like we kind of talked about at the beginning of the year. We have, 4 seniors, 5 juniors, but we were young and floor experienced just with what we graduated. So if she would have been starting the season, there would have been 1 or 2 that wouldn't have played as much at the beginning of the season that are playing, a pretty good bit right now that are in our rotation. So they were just kind of thrown in the water and, hey, let's swim, let's go.
Yeah, it's like backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, something. But you got to keep your head above water, right?
Yes, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen today. Expected 2:30 p.m. tip-off, District 8 championship game, Blackman versus Oakland. Now, it's at your at Oakland. It's on your home floor. Does that play any factor at all for you folks that you get to play this game at Oakland?
I think so. Just the atmosphere, being able to prep at home, being able to be at home, to be in our own locker room, like the stuff that's not even necessarily playing at home, I think plays a lot into it, as far as like being comfortable and not having to travel or dress in a foreign place, because with the tournament you don't even typically not always dress in the locker room that you usually dress even when you travel to that specific school. So I think that is a big positive, and then generally being at home, shooting on our goal, shooting in the space that we're in most of the time.
Of course, you play a lot of basketball. I know you were pretty doggone good. Is it easier for you to be focused at home, or what's your thoughts on that? Is there any difference when you're trying to maintain that focus of being ready for a game like this?
I think it just kind of depends on the team, because my first couple years at Oakland, we were like, nah, we want to be on the road. For whatever reason, we didn't play as well at home. I'm not sure exactly the reasoning. I don't know if that was my first year or my second year at Oakland. We just kind of made more things happen when we were away. And I don't know if it was the crowd, like we didn't have as many fans that travel with us, so it's like we didn't have the pressure of being at home. But I feel like this team this year, which ironically we actually had, more, not with the tournament, but we had more home games than we usually had. Like last year we only had 7 or maybe 8, I believe. And so it was a little weird even for me, because I usually dress up for, our home games and our district games. And usually we're lucky if we have 1, maybe 2 before Christmas, and we had like 4. And I was like, this is weird. Like we're at home again.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the Blackman matchup. This will be the rubber match. You've won once, they've won once. Both very, very tight ball games. Is there any secrets going into this game? I mean, I know that you do your homework, you scout. I know they scout. Is there any secrets going into this thing?
I really just think it's going to be a competitive game. They're coached well. They play hard. And our kids are excited for the game as well. Like I know that they are. Several of our kids are, friends with those kids. So there's like that internal competition, like I want to beat my friend as well as, obviously win. I just think it's going to be a tight match, coming from both sides, and it should be a good game.
Obviously you're both going on the region, but still there is importance to winning this game, not only for bragging rights and district title and all that stuff, but as you move forward into the region. Would you agree with that?
Yes, because it affects the placement of who we play coming out of the other side as well, and they've got some really good teams over there. Cookville has, led that side this year. Lebanon's been right in their pocket, and then even Stewart's Creek almost beat Lebanon last night. They didn't pull away until the last minute or so.
So, yeah, it's got the makings of an extremely competitive region tournament, which is exciting for us basketball fans.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so we're going to relate horse racing because I'm such a horse racing nut, and we're going to relate horse racing to the game today a little bit. The Grade 2 Rachel Alexander Stakes are running at the fairgrounds in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a prep for the Kentucky Oaks because we want to talk about girls because we got girls basketball going on here. So there's a horse running there, trained by Steve Asmussen, ridden by Joel Rosario. Perfect Shot. That's the name of the horse, Perfect Shot. Is the Perfect Shot what you're looking for offensively? Do you have the patience? Do you like the patience of your team offensively to try to get that perfect shot?
Yes, it's something that we've talked about all year, kind of like we talked about at the beginning of the season with growth and like figuring things out and, not rushing shots. I wouldn't necessarily say the perfect shot. We talk more about using the word of quality shot, that making sure that we're taking quality shots, valuing the ball. And sometimes it's even like, sometimes they hit it and we're like, that's not the shot we want. And then, we kind of have to talk about like, when we shoot, well, I hit it though, like the kids are like, but I hit it. What's wrong with that? But it's just a matter of like, time and situation, where it is, with somebody else open closer to the rim. And then on the flip side, sometimes, sharing the ball a little too much, like at the rim, it's like her shot's not any better than your shot because you're both contested and you're 4 feet from the basket. You go ahead and shoot it and don't chance it, throwing it over there for it to be tipped or, turned over. So I would say not necessarily the perfect shot, but looking, to value the ball and to take quality shots each possession.
I've said this on the air here several times with several different coaches. I had a conversation with Denny Crum a few years back, and Denny Crum, Hall of Fame coach, Louisville, won national titles, coach under John Wooden. One of the things that he said Coach Wooden always preached to them was shot selection. He said, the team that usually takes the best shots is going to win the game. Do you think that shot selection is something that is undervalued in today's basketball world?
I think so. With the speed of the game, sometimes everybody wants to be go, go, go. So I think that it is undervalued. Sometimes it was I just took off and went, which we do that, some possessions as well. It's just where were you going? I don't know. I just took off. So I think that, it's something that has to be taught. It's not just let me make sure we take a good shot. It's something that, we have to talk about as coaches, or that we have to, get our players to buy in that, yes, you're open, but is that the best shot we can get this possession?
Okay, so we're going to talk about another horse that's running in the Rachel Alexandra. My buddy Brendan Walsh, guy from Cork, Ireland, he's a fantastic trainer. He won the Kentucky Oaks last year with Pretty Mischievous, but he's got a horse running today in the Rachel Alexandra. Intricate is the name of it. How intricate do you want your offense to be? Because sometimes, we talk about getting a good shot, but you talk about overpassing. How intricate do you want your team to be, or is it just more about getting out there and let's play the game and let the game come to us?
More or less, let's play. We have a game plan. We have, preparation. We have things that we talked about. We have, plays that we're going to look to run, or, whatever we think we might do. But obviously, once the game starts, you have to start making adjustments because, the other team may, hit shots early or may do something that we weren't prepared for, so we have to adjust to it. So we have a tentative plan, but, basketball is a game of runs. We may be up, we may be down, but we've got to play 4 quarters, and make adjustments throughout as coaches and players as well, just in game.
Coach, so no matter what happens today, obviously you're moving on to the region. Is it important? I mean, obviously, like we've talked about, there's importance today, but do you want your kids to understand that whatever happens today will affect your next ball game, but still you should have a home game no matter what next week in the first round of the region, correct?
Yes, we will. We will host with winning in the semifinals. Us and Blackman will host. Rockville and Riverdale will go on the road, and then the same for the other side. They're 3 and 4 will come to us.
And then
3 and 4 will go to them.
And then the region tournament, if you can win that first round game, it's also back at Oakland, correct?
Yes, it is. The semifinals on Monday, and then the championship on Wednesday. Both will be at Oakland.
Coach, we certainly do wish you the best of luck today. I'm looking for a big day over there. Of course, I'll be there, and I'm very thankful to be a part of the broadcast today. I look forward to watching you on the floor. Appreciate all of your time. You're doing a fantastic job over there, obviously, because the Lady Patriots are playing for the district championship today.
Yes, thank you.
Sure thing, Coach. That's Jessica Southern. We appreciate her time. We'll be back here in just a few minutes with Stewart's Creek head basketball coach Sloan Starkey. I'm Danny Brewer. We'll be coming right back here very shortly.
This Fanceroni pepperoni is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, so am I.
Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 old world pepperoni. Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni, which makes it 133% better pizza than before. It's really good. Order a new classic online and use our convenient Pizza Portal pickup.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They tell you what to do. They walk you through it. It's been my experience that what I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Visit our website at parksauction.com.
Hi there,
Parks Auction, 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. I'm Danny Brewer. We're back. We're with Mastermind from Stewart's Creek, Sloan Starkey. Coach, how are we this morning?
Doing good this morning, Danny. Thanks for hosting.
Happy to be here and happy to be joined by a basketball mind like you. Maybe you can make me a little bit smarter. You think, Coach?
We'll try, I guess.
Well, if you ask some people, it's going to take a little bit more. You're going to have to try really hard.
All right.
So let's talk a little bit about Creek basketball. You folks are playing in the district consolation game tomorrow, I guess, because last night's game. Tough loss, 44-40, Stewart's Creek. Tell me a little bit about what happened last night.
Tough loss. It was a battle for 32 minutes, 44-40. Had a chance to win at the end of the game. Suffered from a little bit of a tough call. Always respect to the officials. They do an incredible job, and they have a tough job to do. Got called with an intentional foul with 7 seconds to go, down 2, which resulted in them getting to shoot 2 free throws and then getting the ball back. So tough situation to handle at the end of the game. But I think looking back over the game, the difference was the first quarter. We just could not buy a bucket in the first quarter. We only scored 3 points in the first quarter, and all 3 of those came from the free throw line. So not a single field goal in the first quarter. Meanwhile, we gave up 13 points in the first quarter, which isn't necessarily terrible, but starting the game 13-3 is tough to overcome, and we fought back, but still, regardless, 44-40 was the result.
Yeah, because if you take that away, then you win by 6. I mean,
exactly.
in essence. So, all right, now I want to talk about this for just a second, and I'm not a guy that likes to be super critical of officials, but so you were down 2 with 7 seconds left, right? You were down 2,
7 seconds to go. So, a situation where officials know we have to foul in that situation. And in fact, one of the officials asked me as we came out of the timeout, are you going to foul? And I told him, yeah, if we're not in a good trap, please be prepared. We're going to foul. And credit to Lebanon, man. They're such a tough team, well-coached team. And the young lady who had the ball in her hands at the time of the foul fell down. Maybe a little unnecessary to fall, but a smart play to fall down. And so the official, happened to see the young lady fall down and called the intentional foul. And again, props to officials, man. I don't know how they do it. They're a special breed of human beings. But you would think and hope that as an official, you would understand 7 seconds to go, they're going to have to foul. That's not an intentional foul, So, but again, we can't blame anybody but ourselves. We can't be in a situation where we're losing a game at the end of the game. So.
Where you don't want to put it in the official's hands.
Right.
That's what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And of course, if you've got a basketball brain cell in your body, you know if the team is down 7. I mean, it's an intentional foul that's not intentional because you have to foul. That's
exactly.
how that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and so as long as you're not like smacking somebody in the face, then it's just a foul.
Yeah.
You know.
Now we've talked to our girls, and again, we got to take ownership for it. We've talked to our girls about holding the opponent up in that situation. And so when you do have to foul, you got to make sure you foul them in a way that they cannot fall to the ground. And so we could have done a better job with that. So,
well, you know, it's hindsight's 20/20, and that's unfortunate. But let's talk a little bit about a couple of some of your players here that have been playing really well. Layla Wilder, how about that girl?
She's a monster. Layla is incredible. Layla has the strongest desire to win of really of any player possibly that I've coached. I mean, she wants to win so bad, and it's starting to rub off on her teammates. But she's incredible. She can do it all. She's an incredible defender. She got in a little bit of foul trouble, and so in the second half, late in the game, actually, I think the entire fourth quarter, she had 4 fouls, and her style of defense is to be in your face and aggressive. And so for her to have to tone that down a little bit was hard for her to do, but she showed some discipline and was able to finish the game without having to foul out. So props to her. She's a bucket, man. She can get to the rack anytime she wants, and so we lean on her a lot. In fact, I would say at times the rest of the team ends up just watching her and expecting her to do everything, and sometimes that can hurt us a little bit. But she's capable. She's awesome.
What class is Wilder?
She's a junior.
She's a junior. Well, that's even better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
She'll be back.
You know, and the thing is, she comes from a good basketball family because I believe her uncle John Wilder was a really good basketball player at Smyrna.
I heard that at Smyrna.
Yeah.
I just found that out last maybe a week ago or so.
Yeah, John was a really good basketball player at Smyrna. One of my claims to fame. Sorry about this, John. We had a free throw shooting contest at one of the district basketball games a couple years because his daughter and his son both played for Smyrna. So a few years back at the district basketball tournament, they in between things they had like a free throw shooting contest in between games and stuff like that. And so yes, I got the best of John Wilder at the free throw shooting contest.
I'll be sure to mention that to him when I get to meet
that's
him.
one of my claims to fame, that I defeated the great John Wilder. Because like I said, he could play. Now I'm telling you what, he could flat play.
All right, John, I hear you.
Yeah. So that's good. So let's talk about the Crick girls, Autumn Crick, Ashley Crick. They're doing good things too.
They are. They're very well capable scorers. Autumn didn't get a bucket last night, so you know we really needed some points from the Cricks. I think Ashley scored 8. So both of those are well capable scorers, and I think when we talk about us getting into positions where we end up just watching Layla and hoping Layla does everything for us, I think the Cricks kind of fall into that category, and I'm trying to remind them we need you with the ball just as much we need Layla with the ball, and so we'll need them to step up for sure. They're great shooters, and if we can get them ready to shoot as Layla drives, that's going to be very helpful for us.
Coach, anybody else you want to mention as far as
Amira Maynard? Freshman Amira Maynard stepped up big last night. It was part of our strategy just to put Amira in early in the game, specifically to guard Lebanon's number 10 in a situation where we knew number 10 had to dribble up the court, the full court. And so I told Amira, as soon as you see the situation where number 10 has to dribble up the full court, put yourself in the game and go. And sure enough, as soon as that opportunity came, she was at the scores table ready to go, and she played so well. I kind of got away from the strategy. My thought was just put her in real quick, see how it goes, and pull her right back out. But I couldn't take her out because she's a dog, man. She goes after it. She scored, I think she had 5 points, and she got some offensive rebounds. She did a good job boxing out, and she goes hard on defense. So freshman Amira Maynard.
There you go. Well, you know, it's good when you have a dog like that because the importance of defense, and that's one of those things that you know, scoring is cool and all that kind of stuff, but it takes way more than a score to win basketball games.
Absolutely. Defense wins championships all day long. And Lebanon is a high-powered team, and their offense is very well ran, and they're hard to scout, man. They got every play in the book. They do a good job setting screens, and so to hold them to 44 points, I think is respectable. I mean, anytime you can hold a good team like that below 50, you're doing some good things. And I don't know their season scoring average, but I guarantee it's not 44 points.
I'm
it's
sure of
probably
that.
closer to 60 than it is 44. So holding them to 44 was good. Obviously, we can do some things better on defense, but we got to score more than 40. So
There you go.
Yeah.
So turning the page, Monday night, you play Stewart's Creek plays Wilson Central
Correct.
in the consolation game. At Laverne High School, starting at 6 o'clock. What did you guys do against Wilson Central this year?
We went 2-0 against them. Didn't play real well at Wilson Central. Ended up, I think, winning by 10, and then I felt like in the second game at Stewart's Creek against Wilson Central, we pretty much had control of the game the whole game. I don't remember the final result, but it was somewhere around the 15-20 mark, winning by them. But they played really well against Cookeville. They had Cookeville on the ropes last night, and I don't remember the final result, but I think they were winning at halftime. And they looked like a different team, so we got to get ready. We got to be prepared for Wilson Central on Monday.
I think it was 53-47. Cookeville was the final there. Of course, Cookeville is one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah,
you know,
Cookeville's solid.
Now, when you think about going 2-0 against them, is that advantage, disadvantage?
No.
You know,
I wouldn't say an advantage at all. It's hard to beat a good team 3 times in a row, and Wilson Central's a good team. So if we think we can come out here and put it on cruise control, that's not going to work. We got to be ready to go.
Focus, is that one of the things that you're going to really stress before
Absolutely.
the game?
Yeah, that's good. Yep, focus is a good word. Yep.
So when we think about the importance of Monday night's games, well, we didn't win the district championship, we're in the consolation, whatever, but every game is important this time of year, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be the difference between playing the best team in the other district or playing the second best team. So, yeah, so it's important for sure.
Now, have you folks played Blackman or Oakland during the regular season?
Yeah, we played Blackman. Lost by 2 or 3. Another game where we're up at halftime and just couldn't quite pull it out. And then we did a little live scrimmage against Oakland at the beginning of the season. So
you got some familiarity with both those schools.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about it, and I was just talking with Oakland's coach Jessica Southern about this, the region tournament should be very exciting.
Okay.
I mean,
Why you say that?
Well, because because we've got the Blackman and the Oakland and the Stewart's Creek and Cookeville and Lebanon. I mean, we got lots of good girls basketball teams.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be exciting for sure.
Yeah, so I know that this is like your first year at the Creek, but Middle Tennessee and especially Rutherford County girls basketball has been good for a long time.
Yeah, I'm learning that, and I love to see it. The level of competition in this area is unreal. I love it.
Well, you know, when you think about it, I mean, Blackman girls basketball has been the bell cow for quite some time. Riverdale, you know, Smyrna's won. They won a state championship. Of course, this was back in the '80s, but they've been to the state, you know, all that kind of stuff. So the girls basketball in Rutherford County, and of course, even Stewart's Creek has been really good in girls basketball.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good spot to be in girls basketball.
Excited to be a part of that?
Loving it.
All right. Awesome. Sloan Starkey, he's going to be leading the Lady Redhawks on Monday against Wilson Central. Get out there. It ought to be a good basketball game. Coach, we appreciate your time, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. We will be right back in just a few minutes whenever here comes my man Dalton right now. So we'll be back in just a few minutes with Rockvale basketball coach Bill Hockenberry.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Pizza, pizza, you made me love pizza again.
It's a critical time in education, and we need experience on the Rutherford County School Board. That's why we need to elect Butch Vaughn to the school board in Zone 6. He brings experience as a public educator from his years in the classroom and as a coach to being principal at Central and Blackman Middle and Oakland High Schools. Butch Vaughn has also been in private education as the former headmaster at PCA. Experience counts, especially now. That's why we need Butch Vaughn on the Rutherford County School Board. Paid for by Butch Vaughn for School Board. Pryor Manning, Treasurer.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive.
Our sandwiches are very popular. Our pork and our chicken are probably most popular pulled meats. We have spare ribs. They're delicious. They fall off the bone good. We don't put sauce all over our meat.
And that's so you can choose mild or hot sauce or their signature white sauce.
White sauce is our special kind of secret sauce. It's delicious. It's kind of got a kick to it, but it's not too spicy.
Barbecue smoked chicken, ribs, loaded baked potatoes. Check out Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
I'm Danny Brewer. I'm back now on the Coaches Show, and it is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more. Online at jhacompany.com. Now I'm joined by one of my favorites in the game today, Rockvale girls basketball coach Bill Hockenberry. Coach, how are you?
Doing good this morning, Danny. How are you doing?
Well, I'm quite well. You know, like I was talking with Coach Southern from Oakland earlier. You know, it's a great day. It's middle of February. We got a boatload of basketball going on today. Exciting times right now, right?
Absolutely. If you're a basketball person, basketball junkie, you love the game of basketball, this is the best time of the year with the district tournaments wrapping up, getting ready for the region play next week, and it's starting to get exciting.
Yeah, because, you know, the thing about Oakland is they're having a big day. Some people are like, well, you know, I don't know, we're having 4 games in one day, but I think this is great. And used to be old school stuff. It was a regular occurrence where that Saturday of district tournament was always one of my most favoriteest days because you got to see all this basketball.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, if it's nice to be able to see the top 4 teams on both sides, girls and boys, in one location in the same day. You know, especially if you're a basketball fan and you're from Rutherford County, you want to see the best play against each other, and this is a good way to do it.
Absolutely right, Coach. So let's talk a little bit about Rockvale here. Last time we were on the air together, we talked about the Rockvale tradition. You know, I mean, I know the school's not that old. You've been a major player in creating expectations there at Rockvale. Talk about how you're continuing to build on the foundation that's been laid.
Well, yeah, Danny, you know, it's when I first got here, you know, it's the second year of the school. I'd been here on the boys' side the first year. You know, and it's hard to build that tradition. Even though we were a school back in, you know, from 1927 to 72, but bringing it back up was the new tradition. We had a hard time getting it going again. So when I took over, one of the things I said we were trying to do was the first year. I remember that first day in the Zoom interview that I had with the team because it was COVID. I said we were going to make the region, and you know, at that year we had 4 top 10 teams in the state, not just in Class 3A in the entire state, there were that many good teams in our district. And I think the girls kind of looked at me a little bit crazy, like I was crazy or whatever. But then we won that game against Stewart's Creek and got into the region that year. And I think that has set us up to where we're, that we expect to be in the region. We expect to be playing next week. And, this senior class, in a fifth-year school, pretty new. And this senior class is going to be in 4 region tournaments. And that's hard to do when you're building a new program. I'm very proud of them, and we're starting to make that tradition every year at Rockville High School.
Especially when you consider the Rutherford County district that you play in to be in that region tournament, this class being in the region tournament every year, that's a strong statement. Yes,
Danny. People forget 3 years ago when that first year there was an 8-team league. That we had to go earn our way into the region tournament with that Stewart's Creek win, and there were 8 really good teams in that league that year. And I know now it's 5, but the tradition at all these schools is unbelievable. And with us being a new kid on the block, us trying to get our respect, I think over time, I think we've done that. I think I'm really proud of this group, knowing what we went through this year, losing Kamaria Murray 8 games into the season, who was our, a big horse for us for the last 3.5 years. I don't think she's come out of the game up until that point for the last 3 years. And this senior class and the young class still being able to get a region berth and continue the tradition where we had set it. There was no setback. And I'm really proud of this group, and I'm really excited about the opportunity that we have today.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about today, the importance of today and next week when you're talking about building your program. The advantage of making the region is that means you get to play a couple more games. You get to play it today, and you get to play at least one more ball game. How important is that as far as for these young players?
Absolutely. I think that's a big deal for our young kids. And our seniors as well. Playing in this consolation game today against Riverdale, it's a good chance to get some momentum going into next week. You want to always get the best seed you can possibly get, and give yourself the best chance you can to advance next week. And I think all these postseason games for our young kids, getting them in there, especially Jade Watson, Isabella Wright, Kyla Crawford, Haven Harris, Cadence Thomas, all those kids, it's just going to help them grow and help them mature quicker.
Coach, are there any, and you just mentioned some girls, anybody that you want to single out as far as talking about something that they've done as far as the growth that you've seen from beginning to where you're at right now?
Absolutely. I think we've had a lot of kids that have grown this year. One that sticks out right off the top is Jade Watson. She's already got offers from Belmont and Lipscomb University. I think Memphis is about to offer as well as a freshman. So that comes with a lot of pressure, Danny. When you have that kind of stuff and you're a freshman, you're coming in and you're expecting to be able to play with Kamaria, who's a senior, and not have to be your number one option all the time. And then she goes down, and now a lot of the pressure goes to her and Aiden Wilkerson. And, I've been really proud of Jade, how she's handled it. Jade's grown up a lot. Obviously, having to be in there and getting the fire and go through the ups and the downs. And, I think she's going to be even better as she gets older. And as we go on with this tournament.
Coach, when we talk about today, is there anything different that you're going to try over the next couple of games? Because now you could do some experimenting or not, or is it just about trying to be the best Rockvale girls basketball team you can be over the next couple of games?
For us, it's always about us. It's always about, we talk no matter who we're playing, it's never the opponent we're playing. It's always us. We talk about controlling every aspect of the game, offense, defense, whatever they throw at us. We feel like we can control where we're going with the ball, where we want it to go. So it's always about us. I think for us today, we just need to lock in and play a good full 32 minutes. We've had stretches where we played 3 quarters or we played 2.5 quarters. or 3.5 quarters. Today, we're going to emphasize playing a full 32 minutes and from beginning to end and try to get us some momentum going into next week.
I've seen y'all play a little bit this year, and I like the toughness. You appear to have a pretty tough team, mentally and physically. You like the toughness of your team, Coach?
Yes, yeah, Danny. I think that's something that has grown over the year. I think early on when we lost Kamaria, we were looking for that, and I think as we've gone on, we've started to get a little bit of that toughness. And we were lucky this week. We had Coach Jasmine Smith, her college coach Andy Landers, University of Georgia, was able to come through and talk to our girls, and that was one thing he talked about was mentally tough and how you have to be for tournament time and all that kind of stuff. I think it was a great day for our girls. I don't think they completely understand how great of information they were getting and who it was coming from. But I feel like that's part of our strength as we've gone through it. Mentally tough, physically tough, and we're going to have to be tougher, even more than what we have done now, going forward if we're going to advance to in the region tournament.
Coach, I want to talk now about the image of Bill Hockenberry. All right, so I don't know whether you ever kind of take a step back and look at yourself, but, man, you represent, to me, because like I said, I'm old school, man. I've been around a long time. You represent what a coach is supposed to be. You're always in the game. You always look good. You're dressed nice. You're always in the game. You coach from beginning to end. There is no let up. Is that something that you – obviously it bleeds over into your team, you think? I mean, tell me a little bit about the image of Bill Hockenberry.
Oh, absolutely. Danny, luckily I grew up in a basketball family. Growing up, I got to go to, my dad coached for 27 years, and I got to go to practices at Oakland, and I would run around with Brennan King and Patrick Hicklin and, all those guys that over there at Oakland. We'd go watch practices with Gerald King and Michael Cooey and Nod Carter, and, I was exposed to a lot of that stuff, and I got to see high-level basketball at its best. And, from a young age, I think it's just been instilled to me, when you're hired to be the coach, you coach them every second that they're with you. And that's kind of my motto. That's what I do. I coach them from the first second until the last second. And, it doesn't matter the score. It doesn't matter who's in the game. That's just kind of how I've grown up. That's kind of the people that taught me how to do it. My dad, and, I played for Randy King and Gary Johnson. I got to coach a little bit with Michael Cooey and Drew Maddox. And some of these people, that's what they instilled. It's not necessarily, you never know what a kid, when it's going to make a difference in a kid's life. They might, if it's a 20-point game and you just sit down and whatever, I just don't think that's a good thing for your kid. I think no matter what the situation is, you try to coach the kid the entire time. And I think that's one thing we've tried to instill from day one, and I've done that. I'll do that till the end. One other thing, Danny, real quick, I think it was a turning point in our season. We had just lost Kamaria, and we were playing up there at in the next level tournament at CPA, and we played a team out of Wisconsin. And they are the best team we've played in 4 years. They are that good. And we didn't necessarily know it until we got there and saw it. We had seen them on tape. But we had a couple of players besides Kamaria that were out that day, and they scored 98 points on us. All right? But, Danny, they had 98 points with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go. We call a timeout with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go, and we talked to the 5 kids about that are on the court. We got pride this program. They do not get 100. Do you understand me? And they all 5 looked at each other, and for that last minute and 37 seconds, they played it like it was the national championship game, and they did not give up those 2 points. They kept them under 100, and I think from that point on is how this group has kind of gone to that next level and understood, okay, we got to play with toughness. We got to be mentally tough. We can't take possessions off. We can't argue with each other. We got to have each other's back at all times, and I think it started there. And I think we owned it. We talked about it. And here we are at the end of the year talking about a 4th straight trip to the region for the Lady Rockets.
Coach, the little things make the big things. You're doing the right stuff over there. Well, we wish you the best of luck today. We'll look forward to seeing you over there at Oakland High School game with between Rockville and Riverdale. Tips at 1 p.m. Coach, appreciate your time.
All right, Danny, I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
It's not just a home or a car. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton. We see your home and car as the time and memories you put into them. Give me a call at 615-895-2700 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
Local business owners, you know how important it is to be here for your customers. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I run a small business in Rutherford County too. I'm here to help you protect your small business. Call me at 615-900-0877.
It's Brian. I want to tell you why I absolutely love First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. As soon as you go in or pull up to the drive-thru, there's always a "Hi, what can I do for you?" I've been seeing the same faces for many, many years, and that says something about them. At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, it's more than banking. It's about people. I guarantee you'll feel the same way. If you're not getting that from your bank, come on over with me to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee on Gateway and Memorial Boulevards. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And we welcome you back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. John Dinkins with you here. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Raymond Schott is our guest here, the head coach of the Seagull Stars, the Lady Stars. And I know you were eliminated the other night in a very, very close game against Riverdale. I don't know how to approach it other than injuries stink.
Yes, they do.
You know?
Yes, they do.
I don't think for the last 2.5 weeks of the season you really had a full squad out there during any of that time.
They stink, and you don't want to make excuses, but it's really been – we've had kind of the same one with Snead since about mid-December.
Yeah.
And then I think we played Blackman our first go-around, and that's kind of when it really started to pile on as far as the injuries. And then it's like, all right, we kind of took turns as far as who's getting hurt. But it was, I feel like, okay, we're down 2 starters this game. Sometimes 3 start. You know, I think when y'all came to Blackman second time around, I know we were down 3 starters. But yes, it did allow for other girls to get opportunities to step up. But you know, you just coach them as hard as you can, and just kind of tell the other ones that they haven't played a lot, hey, here you go. This is what you wanted. You know, there's usually not many people except the first couple that are excited with their playing time or how many shots they're getting or this, that, and the other. So, you know, when injuries do happen, it does open doors for other people.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought they played pretty well, to be honest with you. With the defense was still there. Mm-hmm. Mallory was good. I mean, there were of course Izzy's Izzy, mm-hmm. and you know I wanted to mention to her about her first when the game starts. We've seen 3
mm-hmm.
of your games.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first one out there shooting.
Yes.
I mean, she gets out
mm-hmm.
there and she
mm-hmm.
continues by herself.
Yes.
And then the rest of the team comes out
yes.
some. But she's got a lot of drive and
mm-hmm.
determination, and she's kind of the floor leader. And
for sure.
I think if there's anything I'd have to say a knock on her, I think she tries too hard sometimes.
Yes. Mentally, maybe
mm-hmm.
too hard. Yeah, she's way too hard on herself. And, you know, I told her back in August, you know, hey, you're the point guard. I may, and it ended up being true, I may be harder on you than anybody else. So you don't need to be that hard on yourself. I've already, you know, because that's just more pressure you're putting on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that's something that and I was pleased with. Even obviously I didn't want it to be our last game, but in our last game, she got in really bad foul trouble early, so she did kind of take herself out of that. But there's been other games where I missed the first couple shots. Well, now I may be not as into it as I would have been if I was making. And again, back early December, mid-December, she was playing really good basketball, but just like everything else, she hit a little rut, and I was happy to see her work her way out. I think she had 15 or 16 that night. We were pleased also to get Sneed back that night. So not full strength, but close. We were closer than what we had been.
And as a point guard, she has to create her own. Sometimes it's not like the offense is designed for her to shoot.
Correct.
But there are sometimes I watch her and she'll make unbelievable pass. I mean, how did she even see that player? And it again, mental is such a big part of the game anyway. And Sneed being hurt most of the year. Great athlete, just very athletic, and so the moving parts changed probably too much, I would have to say, for the year and for your liking as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But let's talk about the Riverdale game, and Riverdale. That was a close game, but I'll be honest. I think Riverdale's improved. I think they really. The little Howard girl, they're starting to get a little bit of inside play. So you knew that game was probably going to be kind of tough anyway.
Absolutely.
And with not everybody at full speed, it kind of made it tough.
Yes, and we're not the only, with Haney being out for the year, we're not the only ones that have dealt with injuries. Bad timing on our part, I guess, because I know, Blackman and Oakland and Rockville, they were hurt a lot more at the beginning of the year. But, no, I mean, credit to them. I mean, they had – we wanted to take 20 out of the game, and I think we did a good job of doing that. And they had some other girls just step up and make huge shot after huge shot. So, yeah, credit to them and Coach Bug. They came in and played with a tremendous amount of confidence. So, yeah, and they, when it comes to, executing a game plan, would I like to have given up 59? No. But, again, I mean, a lot of those shots they made were – semi-contested or contested. It wasn't like we were just leaving them wide open. They played really hard. I was pleased with, I think we were down 11 at halftime, 13 early in the second half, and other times in the year, where this one may be over just because we've hit so much adversity. Like, how much can we take? And they fought it back, and we took the lead. I think with around a minute left. And, two hit just a top of the key three that just huge shot for her. And, again, congrats to them. They did play really well.
And when the game is close, it's anybody's game.
Yes.
I mean, if you're up by 10, you can kind of control that situation a little bit. But when it's that close, first year, okay, I think it's a tremendous success. That's just my opinion, but how do you feel? How do you feel about your first year? I know it's your first year with girls.
Sure.
And you didn't really know what to expect, I guess. But how do you feel about after the years has gone now?
So there's a lot of different ways to look at it, I guess. So you start 7-2, you finish 9-19. So then you're like, okay, what did you do wrong? Because it's like, well, you don't want to end like that. Like you said, injuries, other stuff happens. A lot of people will come up to you and say, you played Oakland to 6. You played Rockville to 4. You were down 5 or 6 at Blackman to halftime. You played Blackman really well at your place, down 3 starters. And all that's great, and I appreciate it. I'm trying to be more appreciative of the compliments, I guess. And obviously the record wasn't what we thought it should be. But now that I've had just a couple days, and maybe it'll change in 3 weeks, I am proud of sort of, I think, and very little to do with me. I think this is a process that's happened over the last couple of years with Coach Mid and Coach Young, and now the group that we have this year. I think the girls do walk around Siegel with a little bit better confidence than they used to. I'm probably what I'm most proud of is the end of the game. This is year 11 for me coaching, and I've been in a lot of hurt locker rooms at the end of the season. Only one team goes home happy. But that was a very hurt locker room. And I've been on some locker rooms that haven't been so hurt, where okay, everybody's kind of ready to be done, whether it's coaches or certain players or this, that. That was a very hurt locker room, emotional locker room, and I was very pleased to see that. And I knew it would be, just we did have a very close group. So that's probably my instant sort of reaction that I'm most pleased with. I can just going back to the Riverdale game, or if you just look at a game on our schedule, I can tell you, well, I did this and wrong, and I'll be my own worst critic. And overall, I'm pleased with how together we stayed, how we continued to fight. Where we've thrown a tremendous amount of adversity, sure, but it's basketball. That is what it is, and that's what we kind of preached all year long, even when we were having success early. Is just kind of continue to fight.
Yeah, and the positives, there were years where I would go, wow, the fundamentals they don't have, they just don't have it, and pulling people out of the hallways to play, that kind of thing. I see that kind of going away now, and you're starting to see the middle school and them coming up, and what are the positives you take out of it? Other than that, I know you're going to have a young squad. You kind of somehow had I think you'd like to have more depth.
Sure.
And is that one of the goals you're looking for? And also maybe a couple of players you need to step up, and I think you're going to be okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we had obviously you lose 3 starters, 4 seniors. But I think one thing, and again, we played really well, I guess, last Friday against Blackman early. And again, the score is not indicative of that, but Blackman's really good. And, we were down 3 starters. But one thing you were able to see is girls did step up, whether it was sophomore Kyla Dowdy, she had 8 points against Riverdale, hasn't really played much significant minutes all year. Obviously, Secret Grissom had a really good year. So with her and you get Izzy Hodge back, you get Fiona Mallory back, who is playing really well late. I mean, there's a core there. I do, I think the Siegel middle school girls made I know they made the kind of the Final Four, the county tournament sectional for the first time in a while. So I know there's some coming over that are pretty talented. But yeah, and absolutely would love to build depth. And going back to kind of my own critics, is there some things I wish I would have done differently, maybe schedule-wise to try and do that? Because we had a murderer's row there early, so probably. But yeah, building depth and just continue to, it's got to be in the weight room. It's got to be player development. Fiona Mallory, when I watched her on tape last year and watched her in games, she's a completely different player. Izzy Hodge has obviously gotten a lot better. So
you got a foundation, don't you?
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
For next year,
there's a core there for sure.
Yeah, that's great news. And I know your first year, I know everything has ups and downs, but when the girls are playing like that, you've got some good assistant coaches helping you. And that helps because and of course, Mid knew all the girls, and that helped. And he's the type of guy too that, although he was a head coach at one time, he knows how to step back, doesn't he? I mean, and just offer help and not be too, hey, I used to coach this thing,
exactly.
Right? I mean,
oh, absolutely. No, I mean, he's one of our better wins was against Rossview. I think they were top 15, like that mid-state poll or something, and we beat. That was early January when we were healthy, and we were really pleased with that win. But I guess we had Gallatin and Wilson Central. We had the game went to overtime because we gave up a 3 at the buzzer. Both games, we won the Gallatin one, lost to Wilson Central. So we practiced. Hey, we're gonna foul. We're never going to give up another 3 to send it overtime. We're gonna foul up 3. And he stepped into the huddle and And we end up winning. We end up executing perfectly. We end up not fouling, but we stole the ball trying to foul. So we win by 3, and afterwards he's just, real apologetic, like, "Oh, Coach, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say." I was like, "No, man, it's fine." Like, he's been phenomenal, and Coach Smith, and just how talking about how together this group was. Okay, maybe there's some days where I was the bad guy, and they go to Coach Mitt or Coach Smith, and they're not. It's not like a good cop, bad cop thing, but it's just they all know that we're here for them, and players can really kind of sense that.
Yeah.
Okay, who's here, but what coaches want to be here, and that's the best part about those two. Yes, they know a ton about basketball. Katie Smith was an unbelievable player and unbelievable coach, soccer, basketball, you name the sport. Same thing with Coach Mid. But the biggest strength that they brought is just their ability to connect with our girls.
And it brought some stability.
For sure.
I mean, it kept that stability, I guess I should say. Raymond, it's been great talking to you this year, and I'm looking forward to what's in store in the future for the Siegel Stars. I know you got things going, and I'm going to tell you, I thought it was a pretty good season. I know you were disappointed, but yes. I thought it was a good season.
Yes.
So good having you, and we'll talk to you next year.
Thank y'all for all you do for us. Thank you.
Yeah, and have some free time with those kids a little bit.
No, man, we're travel baseball. We're on a travel baseball.
Oh, okay. At least, yeah. Are you coaching that too?
No.
Okay.
No. Maybe dugout dad.
Well, then that is a break,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's Raymond Schott, the head coach of the Siegel Stars. This portion of the show brought to you by Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, an independent agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance since 1973. Find out more at rayburn.net. When we come back, we'll have Eagleville coach Chris Lynch on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And we welcome you here to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, and we have Eagleville coach Chris Lynch with us. This portion of the show brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASC certified mechanics and master mechanics. You can check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com. Chris, it's been a crazy week, a good week in some respects, and had a tough one last night against a very familiar foe, for sure.
Yeah, we had a tough one, and, you work all year to get to the championship, and we made it, and went right down to the wire with them, and it's the 3rd time we've played them, and hopefully we'll make it a 4th time here in a week or 2.
Well, the good thing about that game is, you kind of already clinched a spot at home coming up in the region, and that's always good news. But I know they were really wanting to win that game last night. They've had, I think you had one close game of about 3 points, and then they won at home and lost. So they've been pretty close, most of them, and last night was very physical, evidently, from what I understand.
I always think that the games in district play are physical, and you get into the district tournament and it may get a little bit more, but I felt like we came out and played really hard, and our shooting was off a little bit I thought we had a lot of open looks that, just didn't go in. They may have gone in, but they came back out. So I don't get any points for that, so it didn't count.
The game was it was a low scoring. We got an update. I was trying to get some updates from there, and it was like 29-22. That was with about 5 minutes remaining. So a lot of shots went out, but I guess too pretty good defense by your girls as well.
It was. I thought both teams had a really good game plan, and it put a hamper on each team's offense. The district MVP, Ellie Graham, we held her to 5 points, and she's their leading scorer. And then their second leading scorer had 5 points, but they had other girls. Their point guard stepped up, and she had a huge night. And and then the supporting cast also hit a couple shots, and you focus on one thing, and they're a good team, and they found another way to score. So a lot of their points came from the free throw line, and those are easy. So we may have fouled a little too much. So
you did get
girls foul out.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to ask. I know that you had that. That's kind of tough down the stretch too when you're trying to catch up too. So that makes it tough. And we're going to back off from that game a little bit, but to get there, you had you had a couple of games you had to win. And last night, Eliza came through with 13 points for you. And I know she's a physical player herself, and I know she was in there banging for sure.
Yeah, Eliza, we moved her to guard Ellie Graham, which is a post player. She's about 6'1", and Eliza, I'm not real sure, around 5'5", and just has the heart of a warrior. And like I said, she had 5 points. And the reason we made the move is because Izzy Sawyer, who usually guards her, was in foul trouble, and she fouled out with about 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And she led us with 28 points on Tuesday night. So that was another area where we weren't allowed to get points from. So, when you talked about the Huntland game, when we played Huntland at home, we lost by 2 points on a last-second miss that, I thought we got fouled on, but they didn't call it, so we moved on. We went to Huntland, and we won by 2 points. They missed a last-second shot that they thought they got fouled on. And so we knew it would be a really good game. And we came out, and we had a pretty good night shooting, beat them 61-49. And, a 12-point win against a good team like that I felt like we were playing really well. And I still thought we played really well last night. It's just some shots didn't fall, and you have to credit that to Moore County's defense and, just keeping us off balance a little bit. So, like you said, the good thing about being in the district championship is it's not your last game if you lose, and we still get to host first round of the region. Our possible opponents will be Santa Fe or Culleoka.
I've actually seen Santa Fe play, and they're pretty talented. I don't know much about Culleoka, but regardless, it really doesn't matter, I guess, in a way, who you're playing. It's how you're playing. And, over the years, and I've known you a good while now, and it seems like you have your girls always primed and ready for district play and region play. And I think that's the same thing to say this year. I think they've played better and better and better. And, Isabella's been playing well. And, unfortunately about the fouls last night, but, you have to have somebody to pick her up. And I know Brinley's starting to shoot the ball really well, and that's what you want. And you may not get it, but for the most part, you want to be playing at your best. And it seems like you're pretty pleased with the way they're doing right now.
I am. And, usually we have one girl like the other night. Izzy had 28. We had 3 in double figures with Brinley and Mia Thompson. And usually we always have somebody step up. And last night, Eliza had 13. which is a lot in a low-scoring game. And then we had 3 girls with 7. And usually we'll have 2 or 3 in double figures. And, you know, Shelby Mooneyham hit a couple of big shots. Mia Thompson, she's such a great defender. She gets points off her defense some. And, you know, the point guard, Madison Dingler, she had a great night with Mia Thompson guarding her. So I just won't say anything except give her credit for having a really good night. And because I know she did it against a great defender. So when, you know, like I said, when the shots, you know, they're just not going in, I feel like we had some really good looks at it. And we turned them over a few times in our press, and they pressed us all night. And, you know, it like you said in the beginning, it was a tough physical game. We just came up a few points short.
Chris, you know, it one thing, and I've seen several games, and I'm so impressed in terms of the hustle. And I'm going to start with Mia because I think she's probably one of the best defenders in the district, to be honest with you. She does so many little things, and a lot of times they go unnoticed, but deflected pass or, you know, causing grief to whoever she's guarding. And gets it kind of gets the game rolling, doesn't she? I mean, she kind of pushes the ball up the floor.
She does, and I think what the main thing she does, besides all the things you mentioned, is she disrupts the other team's offense.
Mm-hmm.
And down the stretch, teams have already started going up to set high ball screens to give their point guard some relief up top. And, I mean, she is just relentless on her ball pressure and, you know, deflecting passes, stealing the ball, so contesting shots. And, you know, that's part of what makes us go and gets us out in transition. And, you know, last night the point guard from Moore County handled it pretty good. And, you know, just give them credit for that.
I want to mention one more time about Mooneyham because I think she's kind of unheralded. You know, she comes up with some points for you. Got a big, tall presence in there, and I think she's very, very helpful with what you guys are trying to do each and every night.
Yeah, Shelby usually draws some very tough defensive assignments, which, you know, a lot of people, they'll overlook that and how important that is. But, you know, Shelby will usually guard a post player, and our district has several, you know, really good-sized post players, and she gets in there and she bangs with them all night, and her shooting has really come on here at the end of the year. And she knocked down a 3 last night, maybe 2. I'm not real sure, but I know she had 7, and I know she hit a free throw. So, you know, she's having to be respected, which opens the floor up even more. So when you have 3,000-point scores on the court, you know, and then you have to respect Shelby and Mia also, it does spread the floor. And like I said earlier, usually I'll have one of those really step up. And not that 7 points is not a lot because we had 3 with 7, but usually we would have maybe 2 with, you know, 12 or 13, maybe 15. And last night we just had Eliza with 13, which, you know, in a low-scoring game, that was our leading scorer, and that's a lot, but needed somebody else to step up.
We're talking to Chris Lynch, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. And Chris, what is it like to have 3 1,000-point scorers? And not only they're scorers, but they are great kids. And listen, you can coach them well. Has that ever happened to you to have 3 in one team?
No, I think this is a total of 8 in 20 years. So to have 3 in 1 year has been a great luxury. And then, you know, it just goes to their hard work and their teammates. And, you know, they've played a lot of ball games too. Brindley's played since she was an 8th grader. She came up at the end of her 8th grade year and led us in scoring in tournaments that year. So, you know, and she's just a junior and got her 1,000th point, you know, 2/3 of the way through the season. So,
she's going to be able to cap on that a little bit for sure next year. And a great crowd, I know, at Eagleville. They don't even have to tell me that.
It was really good.
The place
I
was
think
rocking.
I think our cheering section got under the ref's skin a little bit, and I think he took it personal, and but they definitely showed up in large number and made themselves known, and it was a great home court advantage. And I hope they show up again next Friday night, like I know they will, and they'll show up tonight for the boys. And the boys are in the district championship. Coach McLaren has his boys playing really well right now, and it's just a good atmosphere right now at Eagle.
Well, I know you've got a few days off now. You're going to work on some things, and you don't know who you're playing yet, but I guess you'll kind of prepare for them as we get ready for Friday. Are you welcome for the days off, or would you rather just keep on playing like maybe Monday or Tuesday?
Well, the one thing about it, we've had one game a week for the last 3 weeks because, we got canceled. So this is almost like a normal week for us. And we're going to take today and tomorrow off, probably come in and just do some shooting on Monday, and then we'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and, start preparing. And I'll find out who we play on Monday night, whether it's Culleoka or Santa Fe, and, try to put a game plan together that works good for us.
Well, I'm a terrific season so far, and hope many more wins to come. And let's take this thing home and get a chance to recoup and get ready for the region coming up on Friday. And there's if you want a destination to go to next Friday night, I would think that would be one place I'd want to be if you want to have some good basketball atmosphere at Old Eagleville High School.
That's right, and. We're talking about tournament time. Last weekend, our JV team played in the JV tournament, and we were runners-up to Rockville, and I was really proud of that group, too. And
yeah, me too.
I saw you there, and it was some good games, and so I was really proud of them, and, they had a great season as well.
And one thing that you did, and speaking of JV, and then I'll let you go, but you scheduled a lot of games for them, and that's so appreciative to those kids. I think that's so helpful to those kids that don't get to play very much, and rightfully so. But, boy, to have a schedule, I think you probably scheduled 20 games for them, and that's pretty amazing. We appreciate that.
We played 20 games this year, and, we like you said, we had a lot of girls, and they worked as hard as anybody else, so, to get rewarded with those games is, something they look forward to. And then to end it off with a tournament, I thought that was pretty neat. We've never played 20 JV games before. And, I saw them get better every single game. So, it's something really nice for us.
Well, appreciate all you do, and that's from the heart here from this end. But do want to wish you good luck next week, and I know you'll be talking to maybe somebody in a couple of weeks, and hopefully you'll be, hopefully we'll be, at the Glass House. You never know,
Well, that's the goal, and you start out every season with that in mind, and it's right here in front of us. You're a few wins away from being there. So, take it one game at a time and keep trying to get better and improve and be playing your best ball right at the end. And I feel like we're very close to that. So we'll see what we can do.
All right, Chris, good luck the rest of the way, and good luck with those boys tonight too.
Yeah, good luck to them.
All right, that's Chris Lentz, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. This portion of the show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day. Coming up next, it's Cougar Corner.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
And we welcome you to Cougar Corner this morning. John Dinkins here with you, and Hannah Jones is our guest and coach. Believe it or not, we have tried several times to do this interview over the course of the last 3 months, and we had a snafu with the internet last time we tried it. I'm finally going to get to interview you, so let's hope the electricity doesn't go off, okay?
Okay.
We might be able to make it. A good year for you, great year for you guys. I know you're disappointed you didn't go any further, but a young squad, and I'm telling you, I think overall you've got to be pleased with what kind of year you had.
Oh, yeah. I think definitely we played a really, really tough schedule in the beginning. We did well in district. Obviously, PCA FRA, they're still fighting in the region tournament, so they were very, very tough opponents. And I think our girls, after the past 2 years, and I hate to compare them to the previous 2 years, but it was a lot of success the previous 2 years with some really mature leaders and talent. That was the majority of stats for us. So there was a big, just vacuum, and I think the girls stepped up as best as they could. Those 3 young sophomores who started for us, Anna Clay Shirley, Ashley Rucker, Madison Graham, they did some really big things for us. But our 2 seniors, I was just so proud of their effort and their heart with the little things that don't always get statted, diving on the floor for the 50-50 balls, sacrificing their bodies for charges. So just like the little things. So that first 5 that started for us, I was really, really proud. And then our bench, I think that they did an excellent job just always staying in it, encouraging, being coachable, getting those reps in when they can, and just learning and hopefully setting us up for a great season next year too.
And I guess expectations, because you girls you've had good girls teams, and beforehand the teams before that were good, really, really good. Expectations, I guess, were a little high for a bunch of young girls. I mean, that's pretty hard to overcome.
It is, but I think at the same time, why would you not hold your girls to a higher standard? And I think it's tough because they're all competitors. They always said they just want to go as far as they can. They want to maximize their potential. So I was just thankful for that mindset from them, because you don't want any of your girls, whoever you're coaching, to settle. And I think that that's a life lesson that carries them through. Dream big and always just kind of go for as much as you can, because whenever you raise that bar, you always think there's the fastest person in the world. They set the records at the Olympics, and then someone else I can beat that time. So if you set the bar high, you're going to beat it. I think that you can't do it all in one season. You can't do it all in one night. So there's a lot of maturity and growth to continue to happen. So I think setting the bar high is a good thing.
Yeah, and you do, and I know you have, as a coach, you have to have big expectations as well. And I know you said the schedule was tough, but would you do it over again? Because I really think that's good that they had a tough, especially non-district schedule.
Oh, I would, yeah. Well, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't put them up against the best teams that we possibly could.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my philosophy on that. Why would I not?
Yeah. And a really good district record as well. But let's talk about your all's conference, your district. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, when you look at it year after year after year, and I'm not, you had Webb in there at one time, and Ezel Harding, FRA. I mean, the list goes on. There's like 4 or 5 teams out of there that are ranked in the state, basically.
Yeah, and I think that, like you mentioned, FRA in our district, they have been playing really, really well. Their young talent are very savvy, and they just have a great feel for the game, and I think they execute for Coach Hart really, really well. So that's a testament to them. And obviously PCA is rolling as well right now. They're very dynamic inside and out. So I think everybody's very, very balanced. I know Ezel struggled with just a rotation of players throughout the year, and what's just kind of life happens in a season with young high school girls, like injuries happen and just like family stuff. And so I think that they've just done a really, really good job overall of just maintaining and staying the course and doing the best with what you can.
It's a perennial. Somebody comes out of there, perennial power every year, and y'all have been in that situation. PCA's been there, and now some younger teams are coming up as well. When you talk about what you're looking forward to next year, because you're really young too. I mean, you're very young, and your leaders are basically sophomores, so that tells you a lot about the season. But again, a successful season. What do you look forward to, and how do you think you guys can improve on this year?
I am looking forward to just seeing the growth in that sophomore class. We had we didn't really have a true point guard, so we had a lot of players playing out of position, doing different things, shooters being more drivers, and drivers looking for shots outside. So I think just honing those skills and being a little more balanced and under control, seeing the court more instead of just trying to do a whole lot, which I mean, when you're a sophomore or you're a freshman and you're trying to find your way, you're trying to put so much, it's hard just mentally, maturity wise, for them to see through kind of the trees of what's going on and stay within the game plan and stay within their lanes, but also I'm just really excited for just to see the three starters, them returning. I think that they can each just grow and develop their game this summer. I think that we add a point guard off the bench that transferred in. She'll be a senior next year, Amaya Thompson. So I'm really excited about her. She's a scrappy defender, too. She's going to bring a lot of athleticism, and she's a high basketball IQ kid. So there's a lot of pieces coming back. We just got to make sure that I think what I'm most excited about is them just having another year under their belt. They're going to get a whole summer with their travel teams. They're going to have a summer with us, team bonding-wise. So I am so excited just about them growing and maturing together, getting just extra reps in this summer. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited.
And will they go through I know a lot of them do travel ball and that kind of thing. Is a lot of that's up to them though, isn't it? I mean, making sure, you really can't do a lot in terms of the dead period, that kind of thing, but you can oversee that they're getting their work in somewhere, correct?
Yeah, in the month of June before dead period, we'll get together. I think summer is all about just getting to know the team and getting your basics kind of fundamentals going. It's really not about your record. It's not about wins and losing, being ready for March. It's just about making sure that they stay fresh for AAU, those that do, which majority of our girls do play travel ball, which is a blessing. And I think that the girls that want to play in college, AAU, you've got to be there to get in front of the college coaches as well. That's just a part of that process for them. So making sure that they stay healthy, they stay in shape, they get the basics, they understand team dynamics and team bonding, my verbiage, my language as a coach, and just getting those freshmen, upcoming 8th graders, freshmen, getting them into the swing of things too, which I was lucky. I pulled up one 8th grader this year, so she's kind of already gotten her feet wet a little bit with my coaching style. So I think June is a great and sweet and short time. But then, most of them go play AAU in July, and then I won't see them again. We'll do some preseason stuff like 3-man workouts, and they'll do weightlifting and stuff. But, just enjoy your summer as a kid and then be ready to come back in the fall. And some do volleyball, and I encourage them to always be dual sport athletes, go play for different AAU teams. I think the more well-rounded, the better.
We're talking to Hannah Jones here on Cougar Corner, the head coach of the MTCS Lady Cougars. And I love what you just said about let them have fun. Let them have a summer to have fun, because they got to have a little bit of that. I think sometimes we push it, and I was glad to hear you say that, because I think even when you said getting together in June should be a getting to know each other, that kind of thing. Are you as excited about 8th graders coming in as I would be? I know as an old coach, I used to look forward to see the youngsters and see what's ahead. I know you've already seen them, but to actually work with them, head to head.
Absolutely. I think that I didn't get as much time as I wanted with the 8th grader we pulled up this year, Ellie White Shoes with middle school, just individually. So that's what that preseason time, summer and fall preseason, those little individual workouts, that's what it's for. And I think just getting to know them, honing their skills within what we're going to be doing for the season, which could change every year too. I really, and that's what kind of is cool about high school too. You never know who you're going to have and what schemes you're going to be doing, because you have to play to your strengths. So it's exciting. All of it is. It's it's a creative process, and it's fun.
And you also sometimes you have people come in that, like you said, you've got a senior that's going to come in next year and help with that point guard situation. But there are surprises that come all the way. What's the biggest surprise for you this year with this group? I mean, what has been the most, I guess, positive for you seeing them play?
I would say I think just being. I mean, I did not go deep. We weren't very deep. So minute-wise, just them sustaining, being able to play full 4 quarters. I was really, really impressed with our seniors, who typically have, I mean, they've never but they've never, well, I guess, yeah, shown up on the stat sheet as the player to watch or the Miss Basketball candidate or they really, really stepped in. I was, especially with Riley Smith, number 12, I was just so impressed with her defensive intuitiveness and IQ. And then Lindsay was now number 21, just her physicality on the box outs. Like, it was just all the little things that you preach and harp on. I think they set a great example to the young kids. When we didn't always have like that vocal leader, we didn't have that point guard floor general. Those two showed it with their defensive nitty-gritty actions. So that was, overall, I was just very, very pleased. And I hope that it sets the tone and we can continue to kind of grow into what they have left behind.
Well, and I know you've got to be very proud of them because they could very easily, being seniors, hey, this is it kind of thing. And then to work with those girls, I know you're proud of the season that they had. I know you wish it could have gone a little further, but then again, boy, what's coming back should make everybody feel excited, particularly you, and the coaching staff, but fans and parents of MTCS.
Yeah, I really think that overall, just the young kids coming up, it's going to be a fun time. They bring so many different things. I mean, Anna Clay obviously has range with her shot. She can get downhill. I think her finishing in the mid-range is something she can continue to work on. And defensively, she's tall. She's just getting stronger. Madison Graham, obviously, she's a very, very great shooter, but I don't think what people understand about her is that she brings an exceptionally high motor, one of our best cutters. She can post, too, and Ashley Rucker is a strong straight-line driver. I think her shot's coming along really, really well, too. She works really, really hard. So I think that her ceiling is really, really high. So from those three who started all year for me, I think that they have so much to bring to the table, but bringing the rest of their team along, too. And I think that the maturation process there of them just stepping into their own, becoming juniors, will bring some more leadership, that vocal leadership that we really, really needed this year.
And with not a lot of depth played this year, they've played a lot of minutes. I mean, they've played it all, really. Tell me about.
They played it all.
Yeah, tell me basically because we won't get to talk to you for a while, but what the calendar is. I know you're not doing. What will they do now? Go in the weight room for a little while, do their thing, and I know you said you're going to get back with them in June. Is this kind of the time where you go, let's step back a little bit and take a big deep breath?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's mentally exhausting. I think basketball is one of the toughest seasons. Just when it starts in October, you get a month basically of official practice, and then you're into games, and you go through exams, you go through the holiday season and breaks. You go all the way through almost up until spring break. So it's just, you're going through all the seasons and all the life seasons too. So I think that they've always done kind of a blessing about MTCS, and what's really cool about MTCS is that they already do weights throughout the year. So there's preventative, there's rehabilitation stuff going on, there's agility, there's strength conditioning. Like Jason Spray does an excellent job with them in the weight room all year. It's a part of their curriculum. So there's nothing that they're about to be just onboarded with weights-wise. So they're already doing that. Yeah, definitely take a break.
And really,
right now,
really mentally for you, I guess it's time to take a break and spend time with the family and get to know your husband again, that kind of thing.
Yep, absolutely. We were all about it. Unfortunately, my husband, he coaches at Stewart's Creek, and they got put out.
So y'all don't see each other anyway during the last 3 months, so it's okay. I got you.
No, yeah, it was tough, but he got put out too, so we both got put out early, and we both hate losing, so we are just gonna get away and hang out and mentally refresh and then get back. I'll do some end-of-year meetings with the girls, too, and then in May probably pick it up again with just individual three-man stuff, and then we'll make sure if there's any open gyms, like if there's kids who are interested in playing, just making sure that we include anyone new that's coming around. And, get ready for June.
Hannah, tell me quickly, what an end-of-the-year meeting, is that where you kind of talk over the goals that they want and that kind of thing, or am I stepping on over the line here by asking?
No, not at all. I think that it's really important to have those end-of-year meetings. Just like, hey, how do you think the season went? Like, what do you think you could have improved on? And then even as me as a coach, what do you think I could have done more for you? How could I have communicated better with you? I'm always growing and learning too. And I really take pride in the fact of, like, I think it's important to be a player's coach. I know not a lot of coaches think that way, but that's kind of my style. So if there's a way I could have better communicated something, or if we can, like, here's also what I see as an evaluator, what you can work on. What are your goals? If your goal is to play in college and at one level, okay, here's what we need to be doing in this regard. Those specific steps and, like, benchmarks you need to be meeting and skills you need to be developing. Or, hey, I want to go study business at this college. Okay, well, let's make sure that you have time to go and visit this college and do this stuff. It's not just about basketball, but it's about, like, hey, next steps for your future, because whatever that is, I'm just here to help them. That is the point of, I think, the coach. It is about them and making sure that they can go be successful after high school.
The great thing.
It is an end-of-the-year meeting about the season, but it's another just touch point of, like, big life stuff.
It's communication. I mean, it's kind of communicating with them. I mean, really, I guess it's what the bottom line. And at MTCS, I know y'all are kind of like family. That makes it a little easier, doesn't it? Because you see them in the hallways. I mean, it's like one big happy family over there.
I hope so. I'm in elementary PE during the day, so sometimes I see the girls walking by and they're all hanging out with them. I just go, hey, and so that's why these meetings are important. That's why I try to find ways to get in touch with them, because it is a K through 12 school, and I think that it is a small setting. And yes, we see each other every day, but having those intentional times, I make sure to go out of the way to set those meetings and make sure they feel heard and seen and in a one-on-one setting. Because in the season, you can kind of get lost in the sauce with that of, like, film and practice and just team stuff and less individual, and working towards a goal, which is, like, you're just trying to win and be the best that we can be. So what puts us in that best position? So a lot of times you can have players that maybe just like, hey, I don't know, maybe we could have done this better, or I thought that, or I didn't understand this. So it's a good time to bring questions and things to the table.
Oh, that's awesome. You led me to another question, my last question for you. Being an elementary PE teacher, do you see girls out there and you go, wow,
yes,
that third grader could be pretty awesome,
Yeah, it's great. I'm like, yes, hey, you, come on, let's go, let's shoot over the side. No, but yeah, I get to know all the kids by name, and I think that's a really neat thing that I get to do. And I know these kids this is my third year, and at the beginning of the year, I remember year one, Billy Snell he co-teaches PE with me, and I was thinking, how do you know all of these kids' names? But then you get it, and it's easy, and then you continue to know them. You get to watch them grow and see what areas that they like the most, and just, if there are any kids who want to play basketball, let's come on.
There you go. That's a good place. That's a key place to be. That's for sure. Hannah, just a pleasure talking to you today, and have a great vacation or whatever, time off and that kind of, because it's going to be right around the corner. As soon as we snap our fingers, it's going to be right back. So
I will enjoy this time.
Yeah, have some nice off season, and tell Jason Piercy to behave. Okay.
I will.
All right. That's Hannah Jones, the head coach of the MTCS Lady Cougars. We're on Cougar Corner, and when we come back, Brian Barrett will wrap things up here on Cougar Corner. Stay with us.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back as we wrap up MTCS Cougar Corner here this morning. Pretty light schedule, of course. We just got finished talking some girls basketball, and the basketball season for our varsity teams complete. So we're going to kind of shift and turn our attention to some spring sports here in the next few weeks on Cougar Corner. So more on that to come here in just a few. But do want to say congratulations this week to the middle school competition cheer team. They went down to Orlando, and they come back as national champions. The UCA Nationals in Orlando and the MTCS Middle School competition cheer team taking the golden prize. So congratulations to them for that huge accomplishment from Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA helping you get back in the game. Well, the week ahead actually going on today at Davidson Academy. Varsity baseball doing a little scrimmage today at noon. Then next week, tennis is underway. Varsity tennis, girls and boys playing at MTCS versus DeKalb County. Then on Thursday, you've got a softball middle school scrimmage, and that will be at 4:30 versus Columbia Academy. So you've got spring sports just really starting to begin. Lots of scrimmages and things of that nature, but the season will get underway here in just a few weeks. So we are very close to that and looking forward to getting out and seeing that new turf field out there for Coach Jamie Carver and MTCS baseball for sure. Well, that is a quick wrap-up here on MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. We've got a busy day, so what is ahead here on WGNS? Well, coming up at 12:50, so just a bit from now, we'll be back on the air, but we'll be at Oakland today for the District 8 4A Championships. I wish they had kept the districts the same. It's been District 7 for so many years. But anyway, District 8 4A District Championships. The girls' consolation will begin at 1 o'clock, so our airtime will be around 12:50. And then the girls' championship will be at 2:30 or so. Now, on WGNS, you will hear the consolation game on radio and stream, and then stream only for the championship game as the Lady Raiders are at UTEP with a 12:30 airtime. Then this evening, so you've got a morning session with girls' championship and consolation. This evening, boys' championship and consolation. The consolation game at 6, so John Dinkins and Danny Brewer go on the air at 5:50 with a 6 o'clock tip in the consolation game, the championship game to follow. We'll have all of that for you on a very busy Saturday on News Radio WGNS. Well, that's going to do it this morning. Thanks to all the coaches who were here for the Coaches Conversation every Saturday morning since 1993. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner. Thanks to Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro as well. Our host today, Danny Brewer, John Dinkins. I'm Brian Barrett. Thanks to Dalton Barrett, our producer. We'll see you back next Saturday morning for another edition of MTCS Cougar Corner.
Lighter and more energetic. Obtain taking Metamucil every day.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep, and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
As we wrap up the year and usher in the next, it's a perfect time to reflect on what truly matters, the people we love most. This year, resolve to keep them safer than ever with Simply Safe Home Security. We recommend simplysafe.com/carry because they're going to have you covered when you need them the most. Save 20% on your new system with a Fast Protect plan by visiting simplysafe.com/carry. Again, that's simplysafe.com/carry for 20% off a new system with a Fast Protect plan. Or as always, you can find a link at rmworldtravel.com under sponsors. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Mary Carey here to share that what follows is a special encore presentation of RM World Travel as we replay our January 20th broadcast as we're off for the President's Day holiday weekend. Cheers, everyone.
Get out the map, get on the road, anywhere you want to go.
To participate in the program, log on anytime to rmworldtravel.com. Once again, this is your RM World Travel Connection.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm RJ Carey, back again with this week's Open Road segment. Thanks so much for sticking around with us. But before we get rolling, here's a quick message from our sponsor. This portion of the program is sponsored by Hilton Grand Vacations. Now, wherever travel takes you, you'll always feel at home with Hilton Grand Vacations because wherever you stay will feel more like home than a hotel room. They provide premier travel experiences with spacious, upscale accommodations that include home-like features and resort-like amenities. We like that you can also convert membership points into Hilton Honors points for stays at thousands of Hilton hotels worldwide. And their vacation ownership system enables members all the benefits of owning a vacation home without the responsibilities of traditional home ownership. So check out HiltonGrandVacations.com for more, or you can find a link at rmworldtravel.com under sponsors. Now, it's been quite a while since I reviewed a vehicle here on the show, and with that, I thought this week I'd bring something fresh and interesting to the table. Now, I don't really hide the fact that I'm not a huge fan of SUVs on the show. For many Americans, they're largely unnecessary in terms of space and size, and they also widen the gap for new car prices since they're so expensive. But for me, I absolutely love station wagons. They give you all the space capacity of an SUV, but with the handling of a sedan. It's a win-win in my book. Now, I understand the stigma there, but what I think is quite funny is that there seems to be a trend for making smaller and sportier SUVs right now, aka compact SUVs, and they often have lower ride height and longer side profile. Kind of sounds like a wagon, does it not? Now, even if it's not the same, I will take what I can get in today's seemingly wagonless car market. But before wagons started to disappear from the U.S. market, there was a noticeable trend towards emphasizing sportiness. In fact, with the exception of the Volvo V90, the only wagons that are still available to buy in the U.S. are as close to a sports car as it gets. I'm looking at you, Audi RS6 and Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo. It's a long name. This trend exists for the compact SUVs as well, and I think the most interesting of them all comes from a brand that has, let's just say, a strange relationship with the U.S. car market. That would be Alfa Romeo. So this week, I had the chance to drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Veloce. It's based on the same platform as its sedan counterpart, the Giulia, that's Giulia with a G, which is an interesting choice for an SUV, and further engages my point about how it and many other compact SUVs are more wagon-esque than we may think. The Stelvio, however, is the epitome of a fun Italian compact SUV, and even though it looks large from the outside, it doesn't actually feel that way. I found it to handle more like a well-tuned, tiny hatchback sedan, but more on that later. From an aesthetic standpoint, the Stelvio is simply, it's just nice to look at. It's an Italian car, after all. Beauty is important, and it has the same dimensions to the Giulia, but with a 1.5-inch lower profile, 5-inch increase in length, and more pronounced body lines. It's clear that the Stelvio has gone through a remarkable evolution. The use of black accents around the grille and windows, which could have easily been overdone, but in this case weren't, actually complements its sleek body and athletic stance. It's a sharp, contemporary design, and I think a significant leap forward for Alfa Romeo's SUV lineup. Now, new for 2024 are revised headlights and updated trim, bringing the Stelvio back up to speed with the rest of the car world's fast-growing design evolution. On the power front, the Stelvio Veloce brings out the 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 from the Giulia, delivering a pretty robust 280 horsepower. However, it's not a straight lift from the Giulia, as Alfa Romeo has tweaked the transmission and suspension to better suit the SUV format. Taller gears, more torque, that sort of thing. The Stelvio Veloce can handle a decent towing capacity, although it's more about on-road performance than outright utility. Interestingly, you cannot turn off the all-wheel drive and send power to the rear wheels only. However, the car is tuned to spontaneously deliver more power to the rear when moving from a stop, which adds to the sporty, athletic feel of the drive. The 2-liter motor offers a satisfying surge of power, especially in urban settings. It's matched with an 8-speed automatic that's sharp, very responsive, and easy, quick gear shifts, particularly when you take control with the paddle shifters. Oh, and by the way, the paddle shifters, which are situated right behind the steering wheel and allow you to shift gears manually with your hands, these are my favorite details on the whole car. They look as though they were pulled directly from a Ferrari. They are constructed of a lightweight aluminum alloy. They just feel so nice, and it really levels up the interior, in my opinion, especially when tiny plastic shift paddles are the norm for other brands. Now, one critique that I do have, especially about the engine, is its sound in dynamic mode, which is equivalent to sport mode in other cars. It's noticeably amplified, and while Alfa claims it's authentic, it feels a bit over the top. It's really just an unnecessary flourish, and to be honest, it doesn't work in the way I think Alfa intended it to. It makes the car feel cheap. Were this the top-trim turbocharged V6 Stelvio Quadrifoglio, maybe then it would be different. Storage-wise, it's on par with the Giulia, providing ample space. This actually does give you a little bit more room in the trunk, but just because it's taller. So you have enough room for about 8 carry-on suitcases if you roll down the rear seats, give or take. So what are my final thoughts on the Stelvio in its Veloce trim, which is around the mid-level luxury trim? Alfa Romeo has 2 stellar entries in the compact SUV and sports sedan markets, the other being the reliable Giulia, and they also have the Tonale, which is even more of a compact SUV. The Stelvio Veloce, I think, fills the gap with flair and performance. And whether the extra features justify the price, my test model was about $60,000, is subjective, but from our perspective here at Arm World Travel, the 2024 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Veloce gets a resounding thumbs up. And that is all for this week. If you have any questions, if you own a Stelvio or are interested in one, or if you just want to talk about SUVs and if you love wagons and just want to get more of my thoughts, feel free to contact me at armworldtravel.com/contact. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break for our museum gallery. Until then, I'm RJ Carey. This is Arm World Travel. Drive on, America.
Join the travel duo and team by accessing the show anytime, anywhere at rmworldtravel.com. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Amanda at Animal City, inviting your family to come shop with my family at 919 Northwest Broad Street here in Murfreesboro. 94% of pet owners say their pet makes them smile daily. Return the favor and come find the things that make your pet smile here at Animal City. If you like pictures of adorable pets like we do, we invite you to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/Animal City. Please come see us at Animal City, 919 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
City Tile and Floor Covering is a family business.
I am third generation, so it started with my grandfather, and then my father, and now me.
Andrew Young with City Tile and Floor Covering.
They see these beautiful hardwood floors, and it just makes a stunning statement in people's homes.
Make your house a showplace. Give your house a new face. Make your house a wow house. City Tile and Floor.
City Tile.
This is John at L&K Trophy. We have a wide assortment of plaques. We have colored tumblers that we can engrave. They work great for gifts. We also offer other options for plaques. So if it's plaques you're looking for, come down to L&K Trophy. We're able to etch glasses and wine glasses. L&K Trophy can engrave just about anything. This is John at L&K Trophy House, 1115 Memorial Boulevard, just down from Smith Brothers Car Wash.
Hi, this is Peter Demas with Demas's Restaurants. I'm always one of those that goes on and off diets. One of the places I love to eat out the most and still be able to do so and maintain a healthy weight is at Demas's. And, at Demas's, one of the things that I started doing because of my own eating habits is we have a low-calorie menu and a low-carb menu. So depending on whatever diet that you like, we have options for you that are available at Demas's. Please have your family join our family for lunch or dinner 7 days a week at Demas's.
At McCabe Vision Center, we have added a full cosmetic line to the services that we provide.
Dr. Craig McCabe.
Brighten up your face and make yourself look 10 years younger. Call McCabe Vision Center.
Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
Look 10 years younger. We have added laser treatments.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
If someone asked, "What's your more?" would you be surprised?
Well, at First Bank, knowing your more is where we start. Whether it's seeing your kid's college graduation, seeing the world, or seeing the ocean from your patio, your more helps us see who you are. That's why First Bank offers you more time, more access to local lenders and leaders, more answers, and more products. So tell us, what's your more? First Bank. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
Wherever, however you're hearing today's show, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll all be back with you live next week. What follows is an encore presentation of our show that originally aired back on January 20th.
Stay connected with us anytime, anywhere at rmworldtravel.com. Now, back to America's #1 travel radio show.
So we were just talking to RJ during the break, and if any of you get one of those new 2024 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Veloces, first, good for you, okay? But we'd enjoy hearing your thoughts about the vehicle, so send that to us. As we move into the J Block, the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto is where we're headed. That is going to be today's museum gallery, and we're sponsored by simplysafe.com/carry.
With 2023 in the rearview mirror, it's a perfect time to reflect on what truly matters, and that's the people we love the most. This year, resolve to keep them safer than ever with Simply Safe Home Security. This is comprehensive protection with advanced sensors that not only detect break-ins, but fires, floods, and other threats to your place when you're home or traveling to get you the help that you need.
With 24/7 LiveGuard protection, monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and confront intruders. It all costs less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system, plus a 60-day risk-free trial at simplysafe.com/carry or rmworldtravel.com under sponsors.
Okay, today's museum gallery takes us up to Toronto, home to the Hockey Hall of Fame, where visitors can explore the long history of ice hockey. Joining us with details is their VP and keeper of the cup, the venerable Stanley Cup, of course. Let's welcome Phil Pritchard, who actually is calling in today from Victoria, British Columbia, because he's on the road.
Well, this is a travel show, Mary, and Phil certainly does pile up those miles. Welcome, Phil. Nice to have you on the program with us today.
Hey, guys. It's great to be part of it.
Appreciate that very much. So before we get into the Hockey Hall of Fame, Phil, I'm intrigued by your other title that Mary just mentioned as she was setting you up, Keeper of the Cup. So I want you to talk a little bit about that and what it entails. I'm guessing if you're with the Stanley Cup when it travels, as I said, you're clearly on the road a lot as the keeper. You're kind of like that guy who carries the nuclear football for the U.S. president.
I think his might be a little more sensitive. But yeah, you know what? I'm the vice president curator at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, and we have 85,000 square feet of hockey history. But one of the neat things about hockey is a lot of the artifacts are actually used in the game still today. So we travel around with the artifacts and trophies, including the Stanley Cup, which is 130 years old now. And when we're out on the road with it, not only are we promoting the Stanley Cup, but the whole history of the game, that it all ties back to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
So when you're out and about with the Stanley Cup, is there a cup that's on display at the museum?
Yes, we do have that, and it took a long time to decide what to do with that, because the great thing about hockey, and nothing against the other traditions in other sports, but in hockey, the same trophy is 1 year every year. So you don't take the trophy home, you get it when you're presented it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes back to the Hockey Hall of Fame. In other sports, they make a new trophy for the team. So what we decided to do when the cup is out on the road, we do have a duplicate version at the Hockey Hall of Fame. So any guest that is coming at any time will see the Stanley Cup, the NHL trophies, the Olympic medals, what have you that's happened in hockey is all there at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
That's terrific. And for all of our hockey fans tuned in today, the Hall of Fame is considered to have the world's largest collection of hockey artifacts. And just looking quickly here, I see you have a lot of iconic goalie masks on display. You have a replica of the Montreal Canadiens dressing room. That looks really cool. What are some other must-see items that you recommend, Phil?
Well, I mean, obviously those two, because the goalie masks are, I mean, they're painted, it's artwork, it's the goaltender that nobody can really understand why anyone would want to be a goalie, but that's all there in the Canadiens dressing room. Upstairs in the Great Hall are where all the NHL trophies and where we honor the greats of the games on our honored members wall. Some other things we have the international zone. Hockey's played in 96 countries around the world now. So it is a very popular sport. I mean, I think it's second to European football now with of team sports. So we have a huge section on that, and many people don't know that Australia has leagues, South Africa, Argentina's picking up leagues, and so it doesn't have to be a winter country anymore.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about that. You know, and I will just mention that, you know, Hall of Fame visitors, they can also head over to the nearby, I think it's like 18,000 square foot resource center, houses even more archived items. You know, here in New York, we have high hopes this year for the Rangers. Certainly, we'll see how that goes.